Ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call the meeting to order for July 6th. Lorraine County.
No, I did not.
Does the public have anything to say?
Where is everybody? You guys must not be discussing data centers or wind today.
It's too hot.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Garth Mock. I live I own a house at 3 Back Bay Court at Marion Lake. I'm here to bring your attention to a pattern of legally dubious behavior, moving goalposts, and a total lack of transparency from the Water Board of Marion County Improvement District Number 2. Initially, when these issues arose regarding Resolution 144 and its discriminatory and capricious surcharges against short-term rentals, I thought maybe that the Water Board simply didn't understand the laws or the math. However, now that these issues have been explicitly brought to their attention, they've continued to choose to do nothing about it. So that changes the playing field a little bit. They haven't even agreed to fix the math. They wrote this resolution spelling out how much extra they could charge. We pointed out that they're charging us more than what the resolution even says that they had just passed. They haven't even fixed the math, so there's not a lot of good faith there. It's not just bad math, it's bad faith, and their shifting rules are actively destroying the property usability for local families. I found out about something they did to a homeowner that's even worse than what they've done to us, and that happens on the east side of the lake. There was a homeowner with 2 homes, 2 residences, 2 dwellings on the same property. They pointed that out to the homeowners who, it was like that obviously when they bought it. It's been like that for a lot of years. They gave the homeowners the instructions which they wanted to fix it. So they said they actually had to pay to cut the line between the 2 houses. They had to pay a surveyor to make the property 2 different properties, and then they said apply for the second sewer hookup, which y'all did. But then the water district turned down their application. So now they've got a house that they absolutely can't even use. They can't live in there because there's no sewer hookup. The board suggested that they put in a septic system for that second house, but their property can't handle it. They've been told that it's too rocky. And I just found out this morning that the engineer said it's not allowed to put a sewer system in there because it's a dwelling that's existed before. So he's saying that the water board doesn't have a choice. They have to hook it back up. So since the last meeting a month ago, I've made numerous requests to the water board for Cora information, and pretty much they've just ignored me. They won't return my issues. You know, they've made a couple excuses. The first one, they sent me a response that I had to pay $1,600, and they had a breakdown of the cost, which they wanted me to pay 35 cents per copy, even though, and they said it'd be 1,000 pages. I had asked for electronic copies of everything, so they can't charge me for that. They said I asked for an engineering report from when that system was put in, because of course Greg has been talking about how it was only designed for 60 people. I don't believe that. I think he's not correct in that assessment, but he said that I would have to call an engineering firm in Wichita to get their permission so that they could release that information for me. I know that you guys don't necessarily have direct oversight over them, but anything you guys can do to help us out. I mean, we're looking for solutions. These guys are just ignoring us. We've got a meeting tomorrow night. I've asked them to confirm that I would be able to talk at the meeting. No answer at all. I have no idea. I asked them if they were going to this was going to be on the agenda. No answer. I don't know what to do. The core reports, just go and answer.
Too late to get on the ballot for improvement district as an independent.
To run, if you're unaffiliated, you can, but that's only if you're unaffiliated.
I mean, that's the next thing, because I think I am not a Marion County resident, but I assume since I'm a ratepayer there, would I be? Oh, I can't even do it since I'm a ratepayer.
You have to be a resident.
So, I mean, there are others that may be willing to do it, I don't know, but they'd have to be an independent because it's too close to the primaries.
Yeah, and I'd have to look, because I don't even know if improvement 2 is even on the list.
Yeah.
So, for the primary.
Well, anything you can do to help, I would be so
About
appreciative.
the only thing I can come up with.
How many's on the board?
3. I think also, I had asked for a special meeting to discuss this. They denied that. And then a few days later, in an email, they said, well, we've hired a law firm. And I'm thinking, well, how did they do that if they didn't meet? You know, I mean, there's only 3 of them. So potentially they're breaking COMA laws as well. I mean, they're talking about why they can't meet my CORA requests. And I've had several since then where I've asked for just very little information. The only thing they have given me is I asked for meeting minutes for 3 different meetings. They sent me that. I had the dates, just this meeting, this meeting, this meeting. Really what I've asked for, and they only had a window of about 3 months where I have the emails that I got through CORA from Planning and Zoning, where they were asking for a list of the short-term rentals, and she gave them that like in, I think it was in March, and then in May is when we got the letter saying that we were gonna be charged more, and according to the law, I mean, they can set different rate plans and but they have to have some kind of calculation to show that short-term rentals cost them more to provide the service. So I asked for any kind of calculations, worksheets, engineering studies they're supposed to have with metering studies, and they just haven't provided it. And I even said, if you don't have any, just telling me you don't have any would be okay. That would meet the requirements of my CORA request, and they just have not answered. So I don't know what to do. They're just ghosting us, and we're having a meeting, but they won't tell us that they're going to even discuss it. So I don't know if we're going to be able to talk.
Who their legal representation is?
Well, I sure did. I mean, when they said, well, we've hired a firm, I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. Give them my information. I want to talk to them. I got lots of stuff to share with them. Nothing. So he could just be bluffing or lying about that. Maybe they didn't. Maybe he just wanted me to. But he said, we've hired an attorney, and he said to not communicate with you anymore. But that doesn't get them out of the CORA requirements. I mean, they still have to provide information or at least respond when I ask for it.
Have you filed a complaint about that?
Yes, I've already filed a complaint with the Attorney General's office. So I've got more because it's happened several times since I've done that, so.
You can also file that complaint locally with the chief law enforcement officer, which is the county attorney.
Okay. I've called KDHE, but they seem to only be interested in, they look at water quality and make sure the sewer, but they don't have anything to do with, the billing or their practices, but maybe KCC, I don't know who, somebody's gotta regulate them, I would think, at the state level. Because it's my understanding, you guys I don't quite get your relationship, but you basically don't.
So they're a taxing entity, and county takes in all taxing entities, whether it's city, school, whatever, but then it gets dispersed to them.
Right.
And I think the county here does the checkbook for them. So whenever they have bills, they
Right.
write the checks. Not necessarily that we have any say in. When I was first a commissioner, I learned this because I was asking about the improvement district and why we were paying their bills, and then
Yeah.
Tina educated me
Yeah.
that we were just a bank for them.
Sure. Well, I can't, as far as I can tell, and I've asked them, they didn't answer, but I mean, are your minutes on file somewhere? I mean, are they online or anywhere that I could see anything, and they just didn't answer? I don't think they are. So it's been really difficult based on the fact that they generally will not answer. I can't get any information from them, and they're just, I mean, it's pretty obvious that they're doing some pretty dubious things legally, and even though we've pointed it out, they just are digging their heels in, and I could go on and on. I got lots of, and I did email you guys a couple of weeks ago, and also left some documentation, but I've got more. He keeps telling you guys, the planning and zoning, that system was only designed for 60 homes in 1986. With plans for 20 more by 2006. Well, one of the things I left was an exhibit from a 1993 resolution where they were doing a worksheet to figure out the rates at that time, and they already had 243 customers in 1993. So I can't believe that it was only designed, there were more than 60 houses out there in 1986. So and of course, he's supposed, I think best practices is when he makes claims like that as the president, he should have engineering or some kind of expert backup, reports or something that would confirm that information. It's kind of not right that he's just making,
So normally we limit to the public comments to 3 minutes. There's been an issue that I've got a few phone calls on, so I didn't feel the need to interject or stop you, but I think we need to stop you.
Yeah. I understand. I appreciate it.
Do a recall election.
Yeah, there you go. That's another option. It's not gonna stop. I mean, we're gonna keep going, so. Well, I appreciate your time. Anything you can do, we'd appreciate it.
Any other comments from the public? On the board? The clerk,
You want to approve the agenda?
any additions or corrections to agenda?
Make a motion to approve the agenda printed.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
First, we have the change orders. Okay, I have a quick little election update. We did receive our new election trailer that was purchased and received. Emergency management is interested in the old trailer. I did send in the election security grant to the state for reimbursement, and that total, we should be awarded up to $12,137.96. Our portion that we paid is $1,353.07. We have sent out the UOCAVA ballots. We have had 3 of those so far, and as we continue the applications, we will be sending those out. We have our public test July 10th. The last day to register to vote is July 14. We'll start sending out mail advance ballots on July 15. And we will begin early voting on July 20th, and my staff and I will be offering it on Sunday, July 26th as well, from 12:30 to 2:30. If anybody wants to view their sample ballots, that's on Voter View. And then the last thing for that is per KSA 25708B, we are to have a ballot destruction. So we are to hold the county, city, school district, and township ballots for 6 months, and then state and national ballots for 22 months. After that expiration date, we are to destroy those in the presence of 2 electors by the 2 leading political parties, and that is to be designated by the county commissioners. I have 2 individuals who are willing to watch the ballot destruction. That is Joe Ottensmeyer and Hannah Bartle. The ballots that qualify for destruction are the 2024 USD 410 bond ballots, 2024 presidential preference primary, and the 2024 primary election. And we'll be doing that on July 21st.
What time?
Whenever shredded comes. And it's usually first thing in the morning. So actually, we'll probably do it July 20th down in the election room, probably at 4 o'clock. They'll watch us put all of the ballots in the shred bins. Those will stay in there, locked up until shredded comes in the morning. And then they sign off on it.
We attend at?
Yeah.
4 o'clock on the 20th?
Yep.
Did you want them to take action?
Yes, if you guys are willing to designate Joe and Hannah.
So moved.
All in favor?
I'll second that.
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Lift the boxes.
I do have the minutes of June 24th and June 29th for approval.
Additions or corrections?
Motion to approve.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I have not printed those out yet, so I will get those later to you. We do have a budgeted transfer. This is from the general fund to the capital improvement fund in the amount of $352,909.
Make a motion to approve the transfer of $352,909 road main. Was it road main to capital
Road
improvement?
maintenance.
Yeah, maintenance to capital improvement fund.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
too. Don't mind me, I'm just working over here.
Okay, we received this morning a disaster proclamation resolution, that'll be 2026-24, ratifying previous declarations of state of local disaster emergency for Marion County, Kansas. Under the authority granted pursuant to Marion County Resolution 2019-02, Dave Crowfoot, Chairman of the Board of County Commissioners, issued a verbal disaster declaration of 11:59 on July 4th.
Move to approve disaster proclamation resolution 2026-24, ratifying previous declaration of a state of local disaster emergency for Marion County, Kansas. Whereas on the 4th day of July, severe weather conditions.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Can we use this one? She's already got the resolution number on it.
Look at my line.
And that's all I have.
You're gonna wipe that out, right?
Yeah, I'll fix it.
Okay, she'll take care of it.
All right.
Okay, in your packet, you had a report from me. Do you have any questions about anything on my report?
Earthquake insurance, huh?
Well, it was asked, and so we followed up.
The whole thing be earthquake? Fix everything.
Any items to discuss on there, are you ready to move on?
I ain't got anything.
The warranty on that compressor on that refrigerator didn't cover any content?
No, that is covered by insurance, was subject to deductible, and it didn't cover labor. In the packet, you have the most recent testing results for the wells out at the former landfill, so that's a lot of your packet there. A lot of those notes there and test results. Everything is good out there.
How long do we have to complete?
I believe from the time of closure, I think it's 30 years, so I need to double
Well,
check.
getting really close, shouldn't we? I don't know. That was 20, what? '19. Over 30 years.
Well, it was before that. It was before that.
19 what? When was it closed?
Well, when we started testing, I forgot, I thought I saw the, 2019.
We've had various rounds of different contracts for testing and,
Okay.
um,
We haven't had the same company then.
no. But I'll find out what our projected end date on that is. We've already, I know we had post-closure things that we had to do for a minimum of 30 years. And so we may be at the, we may be there already with the 30 years, I don't know, but I'd have to double check that year. That was before me, so it's been a
It might
minute.
be worth checking because it's a pretty good size bill.
KDHE basically tells us what we have to test. And so we are testing a lot less than we've had to in the past. So that has come down gradually over time, so. But I'll find out a little bit more about that and follow up with you. I do have one action item, which is acceptance of the immunization action plan grant. And that is money coming in through the health department in the amount of $2,879. So if you're okay with that, we need to have a motion and vote to accept that grant funding and authorize Krista to sign the agreement.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Okay. That's all that I have on my list.
Ready for a cheat?
I believe so. We're ready for you.
All right. I'm sure all of you know me, Gene Winkler. I am involved with the Marion County Food Bank. I received your 2-page questionnaire and I did fill it out, and I think you should all probably have that. I just wanted to give you one more deal about some the last 6 months, January through the end of June. I just was finishing up our report. In those last 6 months, we served 1,961 households in Marion County. 67 was brand new households that had never been to the food bank until in the last 6 months. And we had a total of 5,032 total neighbors that we served in the last 6 months. Now they are able to come twice a month, so there is some duplication in that. But of that 5,032 total people we served, 3,096 were out of the city of Marion. That's 62% of the people we serve are countywide, other than Marion. Marion had 1,936, or 38% of that total amount. So I just wanted to bring you up on that to show you how important it is to have a food bank, and maybe as much of what the county is supporting by paying the utility bills for us. So that's all I have to say. Any questions, I'll try and answer.
And your request in here for allocation was for 7,000.
For 7,000, yeah. Because our expenses for utilities is running over $7,000 a year right now. And everything seems to go up, every time you pay the electric bill, it's more, or utility bills and stuff for that. So that was our request. and that's for 2027.
Excessive.
Yeah. So just to put the rumor mill to rest, what kind of operating cash do you guys have?
We have, in our account right now, we are in about 70,000. We try to keep a minimum of 6 months operating cash if something went bad and we had absolutely no income, that we would be able to do that. And we also have $20,000 that's set aside for projects that we are doing. I think it was listed in the deal there. We do a summer program for kids where we fix meals strictly for kids that they can do. We're also operating with, we set up birthday packages for kids that have birthdays that come in that has everything in it put together to make a complete cake along with candles and everything for each one of the kids. We also have money in there that was donated to for young infants and babies and so forth. And so that's part of the 20,000 that's set aside for everything. And we, on that part of it there, we take and if somebody comes in, has a new baby and they need a certain, what's it called? Formula, yeah, they tell us and we go and purchase it. And then when they come in the next time, they can pick that up. We got a wide supply of diapers and stuff and so forth that's been brought to us. Some of it was donated from the health department up there that they had some extra come in. And so we have a nice selection of that. And so every time that we buy something for that, it goes out of that amount that's set aside.
So the 20,000 is part of the 70.
Yes.
So 70 is what you have in the bank. Okay, that's all. There was lots bigger numbers than that getting kicked around, so I just wanted to hear.
Well, it depends on the time of the year too. You know,
this was substantially higher than 70,000.
Our biggest amount of income comes in at the end of the year. You know, when people are trying to, and it's been up higher than that. You know, and so we just, you know, we go with the flow, and we try to do the best we can, and to do everybody in the county. You know, we're not.
Have you guys set up with an endowment or of any kind?
We got some money that was left over from the time when we built the food bank. It was set aside because we had tried to get $300,000 to build the building, and when we actually got done, we had about $60,000 that was left over, and it's set up just in another account through Edward Jones, and that's just sits there, and we're not planning on using any of that unless it's something major comes up that we have to rebuild on the building or have damage or whatever, you know, and that's the only reason that's there. So
There hadn't been any eligibility changes over the years or anything like that, has it been there, Gene?
eligibility
Yeah.
for people to come, you mean?
Yeah.
No, it's if you live in Marion County, have a Marion County address, and you need some help with food, and it's not us determines whether you need the help or not. It has to come from the individual that they come in and we set them up and put them in our system. We've got over 500 families in our system. And some of them take advantage of it by coming in. Some don't come near as often as others. Some comes every 2 weeks, you know, when they can come in. But that's strictly up to them. But like I say, we had 1,961 households in the last 6 months, which even if you divide that in half for coming twice, but some come twice, some don't come twice, so.
The questions?
Not for me.
Yeah, motion for that.
No, today we're just listening.
We're not doing budget yet. We're just making sure we got all the requests in before we do budget.
Thanks for coming in, Gene, appreciate the
Okay,
information.
thank you guys.
Thank you.
think so. I sent a number of documents that are really just for reference and for your files, because it gets to be a really thick package if I could hand those out physically.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, just did that electronically. I had received a response from Orsted acknowledging that the system was not functioning correctly with a short explanation. And I've included that in what I sent you. They were striving toward that. She also noted that they would be sending a response generally to the demand that had been made. So just as a quick update, that's where we are on that one. I did not do anything in terms of, we had discussed issues with complaints about noise as well. Thought I would raise that again if that was a request of the board, that I send a separate piece of correspondence on that issue. I can do that if that's what you wish.
What kind of complaints you got? Constant noise or this?
I don't have any. I was raised, and there was just some fairly significant discussion. I know Commissioner Dirks had mentioned it, so I don't know if there's a necessity for us to do that. If there is, that's fine. We started with the lights, and so I don't want to let that slip away. If there's a request to have them notified of that as well.
I think my request was that anybody that has a complaint could go to planning and zoning and initiate that complaint. And then planning and zoning would go from there with it.
And that's fine. I just wanted to be clear that if I needed to do something, I can send something out on it.
That's what locally.
Okay. The SHIA settlement that was approved on the 330th bridge damage, they have the information that they need from us in terms of our W-9 and how to prepare that check, and it should be, as of Friday, I think we should be receiving that fairly quickly at this point. So that will close that one out. I also provided for your review and perhaps next week for action, if you so choose, a formalized policy consistent with what had previously been done a number of years ago on what's to be included in minutes, based upon the action that was taken a number of years ago. And then I also did that in a formalized policy form with a adopting resolution, and I attached both of those to what I provided you, not for any form of action today, but for you to look at. And if you choose to want it on the agenda next week, we can go ahead and ask Tina to put that on there. I also included the AG's opinion on topic with regard to that, as to what's to be included and what the general reference was. I think that was Franklin County that made the request for all that information, and also the clerk's responsibility as the minute taker in those instances. And I think if you read through that, it answers a lot of the general parameter questions. In case that needs to be discussed further, we certainly can. I also included, it's a little bit lengthier, but both really what I would consider to be the best case on point, which was the Barnes case in Cali County regarding nuisance properties and what our powers are, what we can do and what we can't do. It's consistent with what we've already discussed. I think I mentioned that I'd had a discussion with Michelle because there are some things that a district court judge could do that we are absolutely not going to be able to do. under our current system. If we chose, I included the session laws because it was a little easier to understand. The Senate Bill 384 from 2024, where Riley and Crawford County added to the powers within those counties based upon this case and several others, their ability to go ahead and do more of what the cities do in terms of full-blown abatement with tax levies and liens if you have to go out and clean it up. Our ability to address this is going to be injunctive in nature. The fines are appropriate, even the jail can be done, although I would need to get the county attorney involved in that if you want that potential. But initially, the instruction I was given was to proceed on the basis of trying to get things at least addressed. And I included all of the various petitions on those properties in what I provided you as well. I think that's everything for today in terms of the 4 that I had and everything that I included in that attachment.
That's a lot.
Yeah, there's a fair amount of paper there. I just thought
It's perfect.
it's not a requirement.
Perfect.
But I think for most of you, I know I'd like to see the waterfront on this, and those are the most pertinent pieces of information necessary for us to provide our guidelines by the courts.
That's it. Any questions?
Okay.
The budget.
I'll bring some papers around here. This will be a little bit of a high-level discussion, but there's one for you if you would like it. I really thought you would have a lot more, Brad, because Michelle can't come till 3.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So. So basically what, I've just kind of done something that Scott used to do for us, and you've had this valuation information before, but I gave it to you at one of our other meetings, but I will go over it today. And then I've got a few different scenarios in here that we'll go through. And I've started just on the tax levied funds. With putting things into the budget document. So not everything is finalized. I haven't adjusted revenues. I haven't adjusted columns, like the middle column or anything for current year. So it looks like you're all looking at the document, so I'll just start with explaining that and not give an overview right now. So what you're looking at here on this page with the green on the front, which is, I've got some penciled page numbers on the bottom there, but.
Just like Scott.
Right, I thought you might appreciate that. So the valuation that you see there on the left side is the current value from the clerk's office. And at the so you'll see the 2026, 2027, and it splits it out by real estate, state assessed, severed minerals, personal property, and oil and gas. Does everybody see that? Okay, so the valuation that the clerk gave us is $196,398,764. Does everybody see that total? So if we look at last year, which is the next the next white column, you can see if you look in the green column, you can see the difference between this year and last year in all the categories. So of our we had a 7,196,571 increase in valuation. And of that, 4.5 million was real estate, 3.2 million was state assessed. So those two increased. We had a reduction in oil and gas and severed minerals. Personal property stayed relatively stable there from what we had last year. Does anybody have questions just about this sheet? It just kind of shows you the trend for the last couple of years. So in 2023 to 2024, clear over to the right, our valuation was 173,778. Then the next year it was 181, 123, and then last year 189,202, and then now we're at 196,398, 764. Okay. Any questions or comments?
7 million roughly.
Yeah.
And a little up and down from there, but 7 million.
Yep. Okay. So the next sheet might look familiar. This is one that Scott used to do with us, and I've got 3 different scenarios here. At the very top, this says scenario number 1, unrefined requests, and just as a starting point. So it's probably on the back of your first page.
Can we go back to the first page for a minute, just for some clarification?
Sure.
So state assessed utilities, we don't have any control over that assessment, correct?
Correct. That comes from Property Valuation Division at the state of Kansas.
But the tax, those utilities,
We tax that, they tell us the values,
Okay.
and so the levies, when we set the levies, that is applied to them based on their value. And it's the same way that it's applied to everyone else that we set the values for. We just don't have say over their valuation. Does that make sense? And those levy rates, of course, come from the budgets that all the different entities put forth and need to fund. So all municipal budgeting,
Evaluation.
everybody, yeah,
We don't really have a say. That's all state rules that the appraiser goes by.
right. So, but on municipal budgeting, basically what we do is we take in any revenue sources that we have that are not taxable. We look at the needs and what we have to fund, and then ad valorem tax is what makes up the shortfall on the funding between what we can raise ourselves with fees and other kinds of revenues, and then what the needs are for what we need to fund. So, if that makes sense to everyone. Okay, are we ready to move on to page 2, pencil number 2? Should be on the back of your front page. So you might have to, yeah. So this one is basically, on this sheet, there's a lot of information on here. So we're gonna go over this first sheet, and then the other 2 sheets behind it are the same with it's the same concept, just a little bit different scenarios. So what you see in the first column, and the first 2 columns there is the 2025 budget. So those are the tax dollars that we levied for to fund the 2025 budget. So this would have been levied in 2024. So at the you can see all the different funds, the amount of taxes that we were generating, and the levy rate that goes with that based on the valuation for that year. And so you can see the value is listed out. So for the 2025 budget, our total, which is kind of close to the bottom, total all funds for 2025 budget levy was taxes was $13,215,104. Can everybody see that number? It's on the left column near the bottom. Okay. The levy rate to fund that based on the valuation, which is also listed there, that 181,247, which would be the valuation in November, I believe, was 72.907 mils to fund that $13 million budget. So then we take the next column there, the next budget and levy column. And that would be for this current year's budget, which was levied, the taxes would have been levied in 2025 to fund 2026. So that's what that one is. So we were revenue neutral, so we were looking to levy $13,215,104 again. So the same amount of taxes to fund the county operations as the prior year. That mill levy rate went down to 69.870, so we had a little over a 3 mil decrease between for the 2025 to 2026 budget. And so does that make sense? Everybody with me? Okay, so the next set of numbers is the 2026 taxes. So this would be like proposed. And this one is it's a very rough scenario number one. So at the very top, I have this labeled scenario number one, unrefined requests, and it's the starting point. And this is just for the levied funds, not for the non-levied funds. So this is based on what the presentations were from the departments without adjusting our current projections for revenue for the current year and without doing all the cash carryovers and everything. So just plopping in what we have so far, what we know so far about what they requested. And so that, just the raw requests without making any refinements, was $15,567,146 in taxes that would have to be generated to fund that without streamlining it. Does that make sense? Okay.
But then when you do cash carryover, that will go down.
Right, yeah, this is not,
Well, just making sure everybody's aware of
Correct.
that. It's
Yeah.
sticker shock right here.
right, but I want you to see where we're starting from.
Yeah.
So if you see that, then you see the 2027 mill levy, which is 79.256 as it sits today. And again, that is not where we will be. There's a lot that we'll be able to take care of with projections and carryovers. But that would be potentially a 9.386 mil increase, just if we just plopped all that stuff in there and didn't refine it. Okay, so what I wanted to bring to your attention, oh, not on this page. It'll be on the next one. Does anybody have questions about where these come from? One thing that I wanted to mention to you on the very bottom left over here, I have the valuation of 1 mil. So 1 mil will bring in approximately $196,399 of tax for 2027, based on the valuation the clerk gave us. Any questions before we move on? Okay. So if we go to the next page at the it has a number 3 over there on the side, and it is scenario number 2, if we keep the same mill levy rate and capture the valuation increase. So, and what is, so the first sets of numbers are all the same, but if you go over to the right side of the sheet where it says the 2027 budget amount levied, you see where that total amount is $13,722,400, and where the previous year was $13,215,104. So that would be keeping the mill levy rate the same, and that would generate just a little bit over $507,000 of additional tax revenue to keep the levy the same, not raise it, not lower it. And then we would obviously, right now I just have that lumped in on one line up there because we don't have all of that information available quite yet, but,
For speed.
right. Any questions on that? So then we would go to pencil page number 4, which is scenario number 3, which this is a revenue neutral scenario. And so if we wanted to generate the same amount of taxes as we did for the last 2 years, that 13,215,104, then we would have a potential mill levy reduction of 2.588. So we would be going to a mill levy rate of about 67.282 to stay revenue neutral this year.
Okay.
So, and the numbers that I have spread out between the departments, like those would not necessarily be what those are yet. We haven't gotten far enough in the process to know what those are quite yet. But I wanted you to at least know the amount that we would generate by leaving it the same, kind of where we are today with just everything that's in here, and then also what it would look like if the board chose to go revenue neutral.
Do you have a general idea, ballpark of how much we've been, over the last 2 years, cutting into the cash reserves and cash carryovers?
I'll bring that next time. And also, we may need to have an extra budget work session meeting before, because it's already July 6th, and we have to know, the board needs to give direction on what
We're
we're
not
going
gonna
to
exceed
by
the
July,
revenue neutral.
by July 20, so.
And we tried to hold costs down while everybody else kept increasing,
Right,
so that people wouldn't be taxed out of their homes, but I don't think the rest of the entities are gonna stop and give us a shot to catch up.
Unless legislature will do something for us this year. I mean, if they don't do something this coming year, it's gonna be a disaster in this state.
but I'll have some more information on that next time. It takes a lot of time to put all these numbers in, and so, okay, does anybody have questions about this information right now?
Very handy. That's what before is my favorite part of the whole thing.
Good, this part.
It is.
Okay,
It all makes sense. It all comes down.
yeah. So I did not do all the circled numbers. I ran out of time, like what Scott would do, but I'll have that for you the next time. And his process of how he would bring you through it is probably really good for all of you. Sometimes when I'm actually putting the numbers in the sheet, it feels redundant because I want to just make the changes I know we need like right away. But it helps if you all can see them, I think. So the next page is just the general fund revenues. And so this is basically, I've put in the 2025 prior year actuals on the left column, and I'm in pencil page number 5. So those actuals are correct. I put in where it says current year estimate for 2026, that is what was in the budget for 2026. And it has not been adjusted for actuals yet. We always start with what was budgeted and then we adjust for where we actually are. Some things will be less revenue and some things will be more than what we were expecting. And then on the proposed for 2027, I just left all of those the same as well.
Except for ad valorem.
Right. That one is figured based on what the remaining need is after all of the other revenue is considered and all the expenditures are considered. That ad valorem will be generated by by the worksheet when we have that. And we don't put it in as revenue here because that's what we're trying to generate. Does anybody have questions? You want to go over what any kind of these revenues are? I want to do what is the most helpful to the board, understand the process.
We can make assumptions of what the ad valorem is going to be.
Well, the ad valorem, it does show you down here, but we don't have all the numbers in here yet, but, okay, so then on the second page, number 6, this is just a summary page of the expenditures, and we have that all listed out in more detail on the next pages. But if you look at the way that this is right now, at the very bottom, it says amount of 2026 ad valorem tax for the general fund, based on just the numbers I have in the form right now today, is 3.858 million down there, if you can see that on page 6. Everybody see it? Okay. And then we go into the breakdown of the expenditures for the general fund, and that's the next few pages. So if we start on page 7, again, all of the actuals for the expenditures are already in here for 2025. Those have all been typed in. The current year estimate is not updated. This is basically what is in the budget document without current year actuals and projections in there. So, and then the proposed budget year for 2027, the majority of these numbers are what was presented by departments, and I put it in here the way that they have requested it. I haven't, like, the personnel numbers are not necessarily everything that the departments requested. I need to go, some of my next steps will be to go through the figures for personnel that are generated by our office and compare them to what everybody submitted. And we'll have more discussion about personnel with the board, so that you can make some determinations on how you can fund that, or what you want to do for salaries.
How many people does the county currently employ?
I can get that number for you. I don't have it off the top of my head. I know it's probably about 130 full-time and probably 10 part-time, and a few, we have some EMS volunteers as well. So that's guessing, but I have that number in my office, so I'll bring it to you.
Employees, we did 158, so.
Any other questions right off the bat here? Okay. So basically, you can see the different departments that are in the general fund on that page. I don't have a whole bunch of things in here to ask about. I just have a few notes in here for myself and then for you. The next time we get together, I will have some more updates to projections for the middle column and cash carryovers. And then one thing that I do have.
How budgets?
Yes. The how budgets. So if you look at page 8, is everybody there on pencil page 8? At the very top for emergency management. I know that Marcy had brought that active 911 as a communication service, and she has it in her budget. I'm not 100% sure that's the most appropriate budget for it to be in. This is a tool that's used by dispatch. So that's the question that I have about that. If we're going to do it, then perhaps it should be under the budget where dispatch is.
I have a question about that active 911.
Mm-hmm.
She's already got it on her phone. Who is that for?
I would say that again.
She has it on her phone already.
Correct.
So who is this $56,000? Who is that providing active 911?
That is for all of the responders in the county to have it. The fire districts.
So I guess my question is, why is it that the fire departments are all individual taxing entities? Why is it our responsibility to provide that for them? Brad, I mean, is that our
They
responsibility?
can't, well, okay, so they can generate tax dollars to provide that themselves if they want to. It is something, I know that there has been a lot of collaboration. There's some history as far as with the radios, when we went to the 800 megahertz radios. And in the past, the Board of Commissioners has, instead of requesting the fire districts to pay back or to pay in on those, that the county just ended up providing them. And it is something that has to be the same for everybody in the county. So the active 911 is, right now, it's being done, we do have some people subscribing to it, but not the push to talk or the comms that is the upgrade, which would be a really nice kind of system. The thing that gets brought up a lot is that we do not have, the commission has, and the county has not invested in a communications tower, which is probably $1.5 to $2 million to put up a tower for communications so that all of our emergency comms work properly and smooth seamlessly. So this is kind of a stopgap that has been requested by the different responding agencies in the county so that everybody can talk together. And because we have dispatch as a county service, not everybody does that way, but Marion County does, it kind of falls in that area. And so that is the reason. I mean, sure, we could potentially pass some costs off, but the emergency, I'm not thinking of the correct word, but the way that the commission in the past has kind of wanted to handle that is as a kind of encompassing.
You take the point, and then they don't get to pick and choose and then cause a ripple in the system.
Right. So we have, this is what everybody's gonna go on, this is what we're gonna provide, and so that's kind of the reason behind it. And your question is valid. I mean, they could definitely, we could say you have to do it yourselves, but.
We've already got an equipment fund that we fund for the fire departments, right?
That's for
It's for
rescue equipment.
Rescue.
Not rescue equipment.
This is not. This is communications. It's comms. That's not rescue equipment.
I just don't see how we can continue to fund everything for everybody. Personal opinion.
Right. And so that's one of those things that is gonna have to be, the board is gonna have to decide if that's gonna be your philosophy, whether you're passing that out on to someone else or if that's something that the county is gonna keep a hold of, keep control of, and fund. So that's one of the questions that you all are gonna have to decide on.
Going way back to when we purchased all the new radio equipment, had to have a bond on it. I don't, we knew that technology was changing a lot, but I wish the vendors would have had some kind of disclaimer in there that said, you're gonna buy these, but you're gonna have upgrades like crazy. And the upgrades are gonna cost you about as much as a radio system.
Yeah.
And then since that technology has mushroomed, then I hear, we gotta have this tower, we gotta have this tower. And that's the one that I've heard the most this year is the tower. And like Tina said, you're looking at $1 million to $1.5 million.
No, $1.5 million to $2 million.
$1.5
Yeah, it's gone up since the last.
So, okay, how do you fund that?
First time it got brought to me, it was 600,000.
Right, right, it just keeps going up. Now, this is, when you look at it in the grand scheme of that, this seems like a reasonable amount to hopefully address a lot of the issues that we have. It wouldn't make it perfect, but it might improve it a lot, and we don't know for sure until we actually do it.
Wasn't within,
Actually-
when it was within a year, we bought the new radios. Then we need active 911.
Well, I mean, just, I don't know as far as encryption and all that, but technology, dragging your feet may have actually worked out in our favor. As this stuff comes along, just with Starlink. We've got Starlink minis on our trailers now. And we pay a subscription fee, we get a Wi-Fi anywhere we're at. In the deadest zone you could possibly be in, I'm still getting a Wi-Fi signal, I can make Wi-Fi calls. So,
And some of our departments have been doing, like, I know that I don't want to say names or people or anything, but I know that there are a couple of people that have been really instrumental in trying to figure out what a solution is. And they do have some Starlink capabilities, and this active 911 and comms is the compromise solution that they're looking at to hopefully work for everyone. And they're funding that, their own Starlink and all of that.
like I said, the tower is the old tech. When the tower first got brought to us, I mean, even to me, I mean, Starlink was a far off dream. And now it's here.
Also, this active 911 is not $56,000, it's $19,000 increase in her budget.
It's an increase.
It's because right now, the contractual is $37,000 already. So we're not funding $56,000 just for that.
So is the Starlink capable right now of handling what we're talking about doing with a tower?
With the active 911, it would do it because you could have a Starlink and you could go up where everybody can't have any service. And you got especially on your trailers, you just hit the button, Starlink will orient itself.
Well, maybe the chiefs just aren't up to date enough on that.
Well,
Because this year, I don't know how many times I've heard tower.
Starlink just bailed me out of burying 8 miles of fiber for a $55 a month subscription.
That's what I mean with this technology change.
The reason Marcy put it in her budget is because the way she would like to do it, it'd be that she would be in charge of activating the subscriptions when the new people come in to get their ID badges. Because she issues the ID badges, and so it would make sense for her to have control over those subscriptions. It's just a matter of if we're gonna fund it, should we pay for it from there, or should we actually pay for it out of dispatch, because that's what it works with. So,
So you get
like I said, it's
over
19,000.
Starlink,
Yeah.
the price of the tower.
Yeah.
Well, we're not talking about the Starlinks though, we're just talking about the subscription.
Just a subscription.
If the districts would potentially be able to fund their own
Mobile.
mobile, yeah.
That active 911, can they use that just on their cell phone?
That's what it's for.
Because we've had several around the county that have that.
Right now, we're reimbursing some departments for it out of sales tax. It's not been coming out of the sheriff's budget, it's coming out of our general fund. And some departments don't request a reimbursement and some do. It's been pretty sporadic, and it's not for the full program, it's just for the basic stuff. So I'll probably come back to you on that. I'll let you ponder.
Yeah.
In this capital outlay on here, you'll remember she put $90,000 in there for a building for emergency management, for equipment. We have property at 1240 Commercial where we could put a building. Yep.
I'm I mean, I know that'd be nice, but we already did all the work to the fair building. They already you put $38,000 into that damn garage door, so, I mean, in order to offset the rent that everybody was worried about, you better stay there for a few more years, at least.
No, I don't know.
You probably are gonna need to think about a carport or something to protect some of our other vehicles out here then, because, or you may want to. Think about a garage.
Looking at the list of vehicles that got damaged, we got more issues. Lots of emergency management vehicles, but they only got what, 2 or 3 parked out there?
Well, we've got planning and zoning, road and bridge supervisor, yeah, I know, we have a lot of vehicles,
That's
but
just it. I mean, we can't shelter them all. There's no way.
that is true. Okay. So, any other comments or discussion about that building, just so I kind of have an idea of what you're thinking on that?
I don't think we're in a position to move forward on that yet.
I don't know, however many vehicles, just carports alone, $5,000 a whack per vehicle. And then they blow away.
Yeah, you have to.
I don't know.
Okay. Let's see. On the allocations, I've got some questions. They're about halfway down the page. So, we have done an allocation for core communities, which is used to be like circles. They have not made a request. I don't think we've paid them anything this year.
Really?
Last year we did. They have not come in for a budget request, and I'm not sure if they're still in the same format or not. So we did pay them, we did put 10,000 allocation towards that program in 2025. So I don't know if you want me to look into that and have them come make a request.
Yes.
If we wanna put it in,
Were they part of the new daycare system at Hillsborough?
HCF. I don't think so. Maybe they occupy the space, but I don't.
I think they're the same spot.
I mean, does anybody,
Well, just based on their previous year's numbers on how many people they take out of poverty and then how much that affects every other line item. I think whether they need it or not, but we should figure that out.
Safe Hope?
Yep.
This was just from last year's budget.
Because we haven't paid them since
Right.
2018.
Okay, and I'm missing one of the ones that has come this year. Safe Hope had come in here and I haven't added that in here. And just because we put it in the budget document planning here, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's approved, just. The other one I have a question on is the Marion County Fair. They haven't come in and made a request for many years. They only usually come in and request if they need help with a building and like help on a building project, which we have typically always funded. But we just have automatically been allocating $16,700 to the fair for quite a few years. So
That's just been cash carryover,
no,
because they're not actually,
we've been funding it.
oh,
We've been funding it. So I don't know if you need them to come make a request or what you want to do about the fair.
Well, we need to know if they have
They need
plans.
to be like everybody else. They need
If they
to
have
think-
plans on improving something, rather than just say we need 30 grand next week.
Well, they typically, when they have a building need, they'll come and it's like a project and they do a good job of planning it out and then they'll come and request. And that's not an every year thing. But this allocation that we've been just making for years and years and years is just has just been carried forward over time, so.
yeah, they need to come in just like everybody else.
They need to come in like everybody else.
I got a call last week from Tri-County Fair. You gonna match what Dickinson County gives us every year? 23,000. Or 24, 23 or 24,000, Dickinson County. I said, nobody's ever been here, talk to us.
They're not the same call.
Well, do you want them to come and make a
I
request?
told him, I said, all you have to do is call, get on the agenda. But if they don't do that,
Right.
I don't know what they expect.
Well, and that's, okay. Okay,
I have a question on Prairie View. They've asked for an additional $10,000. On their program there, or the presentation, they said they employed 24 people. I don't know how they can get 24 people in that building. 3/4 of the cars parked out there have Harvey County license plates on them, so I don't know how many Marion County residents they actually employ. They have half a dozen fleet vehicles there, and they're all licensed in Harvey County.
I would see that fleet vehicles would be Harvey County, but personal vehicles,
So,
just because that's your headquarters is.
A lot of people do remote. Don't work out of the office, but go to the person's place.
No, but Clark is bringing a good point. They said they employ 24 people here, but how many are Marion County residents is what the bottom line is he's getting at.
yeah.
Right.
And
That would be a good thing to know. Especially for the extra 10 grand.
just a point to make, I mean, they're here, but, you know, all their fleet vehicles are registered in Harvey County. The majority of when I drove through the parking lot, 3/4 of the cars that appeared to be in the employee parking lot were Harvey County license plates. So I don't know how many of those are actually contributing to.
How many of those 24 jobs?
I know I usually get a call from the city of Hillsborough every year, haven't this year yet, to fund Prairie View.
Yeah.
so we are required, you don't have to approve an increase, obviously. And we don't always approve exactly what they ask. In fact, many times in the past, we have not funded them for their full request.
Yeah. Some of the smaller ones, like Kansas Legal Service, he's came in the last 2 or 3 years and always been up above $5 grand. One was $5,500. Now this time it's $6 grand. We've always knocked them back to 5. Not saying we got to this year. I'm just saying this is what she's saying. These are the requests.
And that's how they're in here right now. The one other thing to keep in mind, we do have a statutory requirement to fund alcohol treatment, drug and alcohol treatment. And so that is part of what we utilize this Prairie View funding to meet that statutory requirement as well. So some counties, they have just said to meet that statutory requirement, we're just gonna set a $500,000 or something, and that's gonna be your allocation from here on out. And they just fund it through a mill levy request, which takes away the need to try to figure out how much to fund. You can set a specific mill levy amount on it, and then still require them to bring back documentation of their, what they're spending, if you want to, but.
Then if you go revenue neutral, throws a kink in the whole thing, because then you're taking a whole mill out of your budget.
Well,
Kinda like the.
It may be, or maybe not. You might, yes, you are, but you're still spending that mill if you fund them out of the general fund.
Right, yeah, but I'm just saying if it was locked in, then
Then yes, you have less flexibility, because when you actually levy it in that fund, you have to spend it for that, and it wouldn't be flexible then for something else.
It'll be similar to the senior citizens when they request a mill levy. Seems like at a lot of their meetings, they request a mill levy. I don't know if it's a really increase.
They don't have, it's the language. Lou has changed the language for those requests.
They call it a mill levy, but it's not,
They're just requesting assistance out of Lou's budget. And so she's changed the wording of
It's just the way they write up their minutes, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. So there's some things that I wanted to ask. Last time we budgeted 500,000 toward like courthouse improvements or future courthouse improvements. And so that, I just was curious how you wanted, if you still want to try to budget that if we can, or how you want to budget those future. Do you have any feedback or input on that? And it's okay if you don't right now, but I'm just trying to get a good feel for what you want in the budget.
It kind of boils down to is what the commission intends. We're gonna stay revenue neutral or not, because everything's gonna be driven from that.
That is true.
Everything.
You want to have that discussion now? Because
Well, I
that'd be
mean-
great.
Well, I don't wanna step on anybody's feet, but that's, everything is gonna be based off of that,
That is true.
there's a few other,
rather than saying, well, what are we gonna do with this line item?
there's a few other things though that I'd like to know before we made a determination on revenue neutral. Like how important the KP&F thing is to us. If it is a high priority for us, then it would be irresponsible to say, oh, we're just going revenue neutral.
Right.
It's not high on my list, I guarantee you that. And you know, the department heads will tell you, you're not gonna get any employees if you don't have it. So far, we're doing pretty good, I think.
Well,
Or in this last year, we have done.
so we have kind of I hate to say, and it's the nature of the beast with this kind of personnel, but you have, because they have options and they can go wherever they want and they can work 2 jobs and still be fine. They can do all of that. So in EMS, we do have kind of a revolving door. People come in and out really fast through there. And yes, we are fully staffed today, but how much, it makes you wonder if you did have that benefit, would they go ahead and stick around instead of going on to another greener pasture, so to speak? Because if you look at the longevity in the department, it is, I would say it's probably not very high. And then sheriff is having great difficulties in filling positions.
But only half of those people live in Marion County,
That is true.
or less.
That's what I'm saying. It's kind of transient.
That's always been a revolving door. There's been times we've been way, way down and then we get caught up. But
Well, I'll bring you the numbers and then you guys will decide what you want to do.
What that benefit costs.
Yep, we have that. We're working on it. Okay,
to me, the determination is, are we gonna stay revenue neutral and what is our cash carryover gonna look like? And it just comes down to me, it just comes down to liquidity.
well, if you have, yeah,
I mean, there's other things in the mix though too. I mean, you got your
There's a lot
You
of
got
things.
your EMS station in Peabody. If we can't even keep full staff for what we have, how are we ever gonna staff something else?
so just keep in mind and remember, I'm just gonna remind you that we are now staffing that Peabody station at Hillsborough. So we do have potentially, the only thing we would have if the board decides to go ahead and build in the next couple of years would be supervisor positions to add, but everything else let another crew up.
So for me, the KPNF thing actually takes a priority over building that building. Because once you have that in place, now you can ensure that you keep staff. And then you can bank on it better, you can staff it.
Now, with the building's a short-term cost, KPNF goes on forever.
I know.
Okay. So it is kind of a cart horse thing. You do have to have as much information as possible. Really, I need to know the priorities of what the board wants to focus on, because then we can determine what that potential cost is, and then maybe, you know, where that puts us, and if we can, where we could potentially cut to get back to revenue neutral, if you wanted to do that.
Based on the last 2 years going revenue neutral, that would be the number one thing, would be knowing what we're actually doing to the overall budget. I mean, how much is it taking a hit
Well, the
on
people,
the cash carryovers?
Mm-hmm.
the people we represent are expecting a revenue neutral budget. It's just, you know, I mean, if I'm sitting outside there, I would be the same way. I mean, how can I afford my taxes to go up anymore?
I know. I know exactly what you mean. And
I mean,
Own anything.
Clark, were you gonna say something?
I just, you know, the taxes are gonna, I mean, the way the assessments have gone up,
There's still gonna be an increase.
there's still gonna be increase.
Yeah. It would be adding on to that.
Yeah. And you're gonna be, yeah, it's a double whammy, and
I mean, it's always good to get a better assessment, higher assessment, but like you said, if you don't stay revenue neutral, then you got it twofold.
yeah, I mean, there's revenue neutral and there's flat mill levy. Flat mill levy is not increasing the mills, but you're still taking in more because the assessment went higher.
But then you can't claim to be revenue neutral.
but even with reduced, some people's taxes are gonna go up,
Oh, yeah.
even if you do reduce the mill levy, I mean.
Sure, I
Some
mean,
will
just
go down.
your assessment's gonna dictate that.
Well, just one house burns down, everybody's taxes go up. Because that house isn't there to be taxed, so everybody's gotta pick up that load.
That's why you hope for, you know, new construction, basically. Which, you know, we still see it, it's just I don't know how it can continue with the cost of construction.
I'm starting to see places sell for $750,000 around here, it's freaking
Yeah, the
crazy.
market is crazy, yeah.
It's crazy. When a house in Durham, Kansas sells for more than what it lists for, you know things are turned around.
Okay,
Anyway,
let's keep going then. Okay. On the technology, I have not broken all that out yet. Because remember, we're trying to get that all to a centralized space within the general fund. I did want to ask some questions at the bottom of this page on general operating expenses. Like we had talked about, so we formed a line for property insurance and for utilities, and I guess I would like to know the board's preference. Right now, so this part isn't complete, but right now what we do is everything that's in the general fund, the departments in the general fund, we're paying their property insurance and their utilities and so forth out of the general fund. All the other departments with their own funds are paying their own insurance and their own utilities. So my question to the board is, do you want to make a shift to where we are accounting for all of those operating costs for all the different departments within an operating line item, general operating of the general fund, and then the other departments, the only thing that they would have in their budget on their contractual would be not their cost of doing business kind of great big scheme things. It would be more the things that they control, like their subscriptions and their actual services that they utilize in their departments? Or do you want to keep those things, their insurance costs, which they frankly don't have any control over, and their utilities, which they might have some control over? Like, what do you want done with those? Do you want to keep them in all the separate departments, or do you want to work on transitioning to a central space?
If we moved them to a central location, to a central fund, we'd have to reduce their mill levies
To offset,
to offset.
right?
And as soon as you do that, they have no incentive. Right. To control those costs.
Plus the, it also helps, especially on the ones that are state mandated services, for, just like gave to Mike King the other day. This is what the state tells us we have to do. And you kind of need that bulk number in there to say, hey, this is the total of what it costs us. I know Marion County is pretty light compared to some other counties as far as what the state mandates us to do. But it does keep it broke out for you to say, hey, you know, you guys are making us do this and this is what it's costing us. But if we put it all in the general fund, then that number shrinks.
You just have to track it separately and account for it in a different place.
So
I'm fine with either one. I just was, I know we've been making some moves to try to centralize things, and I didn't know how far you want to go with that, or,
I don't think I'd be in favor of doing that.
Not maybe down the road, but
so keep everything as is on the insurance and the utilities. Okay. Okay. Ashley, can you refresh on the RAWs, what a rural opportunity zone, what you told us?
What do you mean?
That it's ending when?
Yes, it's ending, but we still have to pay for whoever is on the list.
Okay.
So we'll still have to budget because we still
Okay.
have to.
When does that rural,
I'll
that's
have to get that.
$4,500, it's on page 9. If you could get that for me and send it to me, that would be good, so that I can make sure I remember here.
that's just like a scholarship thing, right? If they
okay.
promise to go back and live so many years.
So, yes, it is through the state of Kansas, but we pay a portion of student loans for individuals. We have 3 individuals that are at $1,500 each. And so we would have to, it's for 5 years, and we need to know when each of those people drop off. So, okay. Because that's been discontinued for the future, but we still have to pay out what we
Whoever's on the list
still
still.
on the list for the amount of years they have left. Okay. On page 9, on the kind of this toward the bottom where I have a note where it says, so these are the transfers, the budgeted transfers. So road and bridge project transfers, we've got the sales tax. We take 2 mills of that 80% that goes to road and bridge, and that is transferred to the capital improvement fund. And so that valuation would be $392,798 based on 2 mills for next year. And then on the road maintenance levy, we levy that in the general fund, and it's 7 mills that we levy. However, we have been offsetting the debt payment for our road bond out of that. So instead of taking that full 7 mills straight to capital improvement, we're paying our bond payment, and the remainder is going to that. So we're gonna be, in 2027, it's gonna cost us 3 mils to do our bond payment. So we're going to be budgeting 4 mils for that road maintenance to capital improvement, unless the board wants to do something different. So I just wanted to explain that. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. The debt's gotta get paid somewhere.
Right.
And it was a blacktop job, a capital improvement job.
Right.
So
Okay, we did several roads. Okay, so then, security has been another ongoing topic. We have been budgeting 45,000. I know I've had requests that they wanna have a discussion with the board, like some of the departments, for example, the judicial and potentially sheriff's office had discussed we should probably be looking to start planning to do something different for security forward. Potentially going down to one entrance, potentially staffing it. And so that is, this 45,000 would obviously not do that. So I just wanna put that on your radar. I don't know where you are in your thinking on security, but I did not include any increase in this as of right now today. But it is an issue that should be thought about.
What was the cost of one of those metal detectors?
I don't have a current,
Seemed like we got a figure
Well,
3 years ago or
it's
so.
been longer than that, but we, even if you have the security folks there and you don't have a walk-through detector, they have the wand, the wands and so forth, so.
yeah, but it doesn't mean jack right now. Any state building that's, or assisted funded building, or you can't stop it, concealed carry.
No, I know.
All it does is tell who's wearing them. It's actually a state law. It works at all the colleges too. So, to spend money on security,
Yeah.
when all you're doing is identifying who has something, it really doesn't do anything except third floor. You walk right in the Capitol now. In fact, it's easier to walk in the Capitol if you have a concealed carry. You don't have to take your boots off, your belt off, and everything else.
Okay, so page 12 is our debt service, that's our bond payment. This budget fund is pretty well done. We already know what our principal and interest will be. We pay $1,500 a year for bond reporting. And so we're looking at potentially about 3 mils here. Payment. So that one's pretty easy. And I haven't made notes on any of these other pages, but, so the next one is road and bridge. Again, I have the actuals in, current year estimates are what's in the budget for this year without any changes or projections, and then the proposed for 2027. So if you skip back a couple pages to page 15, this shows the expenditures, their detail page for expenditures. And these numbers that are in here are what Steve and Doug brought for their request. One thing to look at about halfway down the road and bridge building, is you can see that road and bridge building and in parentheses, $2 million. You'll see that.
You're budgeting 300,000 kit with a
Well-
cash carryover of 7.
We budgeted 700 in this year's budget because he raised some of the other things in the budget for next year. He lowered that to 300,000, but you're gonna have to decide whether you wanna try to carry over anything there and what you actually wanna budget for next year. Part of that's gonna depend, so you might wanna put a circle around the middle column and the right column on that line item. Because part of that'll depend on projections for other expenses within the fund. But we won't spend 700,000 this year on that budget, so we can carry over part or all of that. Or it may end up being taken up in a different area, depending on if we're going over somewhere else. What is everybody's feeling about continuing to save for a road and bridge building? That'd be for a shop.
I think you need to, because equipment's getting bigger.
All I can do is go back to a discussion I had several years ago. But, you know, that discussion's probably changed by now. The community wanted to build us a building and lease it to us. That's been 4 years ago.
Well, there was an offer for 7 acres to build it to. But still, we would still need to either maintain the building
Oh,
or provide HVAC units or something.
I mean, there's still gonna be a lot of expense. I mean, even if somebody say, hey, we'll throw up a building for you, you equip it the way you want.
No, I think it's I think it's responsible to keep budgeting.
Keep building.
Maybe, I mean, how much you throw on top of the cash carryover, that amount can move up or down, but I would maintain the cash carryover. Any progress that's been made, keep on.
It's hard to not dip into it, but it's not probably wise, unless you're really in
In a pinch, I mean, there's.
Okay. Down at the bottom here, there's transfer to special equipment. In 2026, we were budgeted at 500,000. He did bring that in at 750 as the request. I would like to know what the board, if the board wants me to go ahead and put that in so you can see what that looks like.
I'd hardly buy a piece of equipment for less than that.
I mean, I don't see it. It's definitely not going
Major piece of
down.
equipment anyway.
So I would say,
Plus, how many of them have to be rebuilt? Just graders, this next cycle. That comes out of special
That would
equipment.
be enough for 2, wouldn't it? 750,000?
I think 2 rebuilds.
two is, well, we spent 175,000 for 2.
Oh, okay. I was
However,
thinking it was.
It probably would go up.
But we probably looking at 200,000 for 2. If it was 175.
But, you know, just to replace one's
Yeah.
about 700,000.
Just to buy one's about 325,000. I think. But
Okay,
the
so,
dump truck was 180,000. I mean, just.
yeah, well, yeah, it was north of that.
200.
224 or something like that.
You're getting up to $250,000 on a dump truck, a little more.
So I don't necessarily feel like it would be wise to go down there, but
Leave it in there. We'll see.
Okay.
See what the total looks like.
Those prices aren't gonna go down. Seems like when major equipment, they get it priced. Ever seen a reduction? In your, nope.
No, it's always kicking yourself.
Why didn't I buy it last year?
Yep. Like the tower. Why didn't we buy a tower 6 years ago at 600,000? Now it's 2 million. But like I said, that one might work out in our favor.
okay, page 16, there are 2 funds on here. It does print kind of small, sorry about that. The top one is the ambulance fund. One thing we can do is in the middle column toward the bottom of that where it says cash reserves 2027 column. Right there in the middle, that 93,698 would not stay there. We would move that over or have a different amount in the column on the right there. And then another thing is the ambulance replacements and the ambulance building. So, which is slightly higher than that. Do y'all see where that is? There's an ambulance replacement, there's 380,000 in 2026 and 27. We would only be doing one of those. So we'd probably look at maybe, we are due to replace one right now, so we may have that 380 in the current year and then start with a new amount starting to save for the next year. So somewhere, so that one of those amounts will come down. And then the building is right above that. We have 200,000 in the current year and then the next year. So those are areas where we can look at actuals, projections for what we potentially remodel cost of a current building, like for HVAC or whatever we're looking at. And then determine if you still are want to save something on that line next year for towards a potentially like a Peabody building. I don't know if anybody has any thoughts or ideas or what you want to see there right now, today. For the building.
What, enclose the road graders?
What?
Do we want 2 bays for the road graders?
Well, this is,
Ambulance,
well, he's talking about, like when we had,
the combo,
before we were talking about a combo
We're
building.
putting everything in one
Peabody.
spot.
yeah, that's right. And that was coming in where, about 700, was it 750? Or was it higher?
It was higher, and I think we just kind of put an all stop on that, so I don't know where the board is on what you wanna do with Peabody in general and EMS and or Road and Bridge. So it'd probably be good to have a little discussion about that.
I still think it's important to put a building there, but I still go back to, if you can't staff, how good is a building? So the staffing,
That's what staff is right now.
yeah, the staffing is more important to me than the building, I guess. But the
So-
building is still important.
I understand, so what are you saying though, would you wanna see that number, just like not added to in the coming budget year? Like to keep that 200,000 in there and not add to it, or
That's,
do you wanna add something? Or take it away completely?
I wanna take it away, but I mean, if, it's gonna be the first thing I look at to Rob to help
Fund salaries.
something else, yeah. It's your district. Your district.
You know, we've got the property, I don't think we're gonna be able to afford it next year. I think we still need to plan for it. You talked about, you know, if we build that, we need a new supervisor. Well, we've got it staffed in Hillsborough now, and it's being supervised out of Hillsborough. I don't think we need to add another supervisor just because we have another building.
Well, no, it's shifting someone, it's, I didn't explain that very well.
I guess,
It would be minimal changes for staffing.
we don't need I don't feel we need a supervisor at each location.
And we would not.
I'd say leave the 200,000 there, but I'm not really looking to add to it just yet.
Yeah,
I'd add to it.
Maybe just don't budget anything for the building this year.
Okay, so I have 3 different answers. I can't do them all. So I can put it in there,
leave it in there for now,
and then you guys can take it out if you see fit.
Yeah, good.
Okay.
That's where I'm at.
And I'm sorry about that, like on the staffing, Mickey had it all explained out and I'm not explaining it at all like he did. So it always, that part with how they do it, it always confuses me, but it wouldn't be adding supervisors. It would be just shifting people around. Like I think but we would still have to add, I think, 1 or 2 spots to completely cover everything.
There's 2 supervisors.
It's 1 per
One
shift,
per shift.
countywide.
They could be at Marion, they could be at
Yeah.
Hillsborough, they could be at
Yeah.
Peabody. I mean,
Well,
it's
Correct.
just 1 per shift.
Right. So I apologize for like muddying that when it didn't need to be muddy. Okay. I have not done anything, I just I just went to the next page, page 17. I have not done anything on employee benefits yet. So every number in here, I believe, is so I've updated the actuals for 2025. I have not, so the 2026 column currently shows what's budgeted. 2027 budget is also just a mirror of this year's budget. It will go up because those costs never go down. But there is, in the middle column, under cash reserves 2027, that 137,234 will not be in there. So that would be available to use for something else. We typically do the employee benefits as one of the last things we do once you all kind of decide what you want to do with wages. Because any decision you make on, like if you're looking at potentially trying to do any cost of living, all of that employee benefits changes based on what you set the wages at. So. So that being said, do y'all have any thoughts about how you want to handle wages? Where we typically start the budget process is based on where everybody would be currently with any staffing changes that we know about and any scheduled things that we know about. And then elected officials typically would get their step raise at the beginning of the year, and everyone else typically gets a step raise for July. And right now, that's basically what budget numbers we would have. We do not have anything in at this point for any cost of living, and so if you want to look at different scenarios for that, I would like to know so that we can prepare those. We did not do cost of living in this year's budget. So. Does anybody have any thoughts? Okay.
What about some of those uncontrollables, like health insurance?
Based on numbers right now, social security COLA probably would fall in a range from 3.8 to 4.7, which is higher than I thought. That can change, but based on actual numbers for now.
If they don't fix it, it'll fail by 2035, so,
32.
yeah. My whole life,
They haven't done away with the COLA either. I mean,
my whole life, I've been planning for it not to be there, so.
I don't need to put it in the budget document right now, but whatever scenario that you wanna look at, if you could let me know so that we can,
based on that, we're
Compare it.
looking at least a 3% cost of living. Minimum.
3% on wages, I guess, that's across the board, rather than just in this column.
Yep.
That's roughly just under 1 million per month.
I'll just bring that back to you. I'm not gonna give you a off the top of my head, big number at the moment.
I'm just trying to think of paydays. The payroll and then the others, warrants. It's under 1 million, but it isn't far under 1 million.
I can bring back a scenario of that. Are there any other scenarios you wanna look at? Okay. From there, it's easy to make adjustments, so we'll look at it. I don't think I had any major questions in the weed department.
Down here. 60,000 roughly. If you use 1 million mark. It's less than 1 million, so it wouldn't be that high, but it'd still be pretty high.
Well, when we figure that, we're also gonna figure how much it's gonna cost us in additional for capers and social security and all of the components. So. But it's probably pretty close to what.
No, it'll be higher than anything.
Okay, health department,
Pretty well funded by grants.
middle column at the bottom, that cash carryover is still in there, that 63,108, which would move out of there. Solid waste fund, that's the one where we pay the landfill closure costs, we also pay HHW out of there. We have been kind of not levying much in there and not utilizing that fund very much, but we do have personnel that are split with their work between weed and HHW. And so I'm going to try to reflect that better in where we're levying that. So weed salaries would go down, this one would go up, like Josh talked about, because we're gonna actually allocate the staff to the funds where they're working. So anyway, just saying this, that levy in this fund will go up some because we haven't been levying very much in here it's been kind of been up and down. We had a lot of money sitting there for a while and then we reused it and then lowered the levy really low. And so now, just to get it kind of leveled out with where it actually should be. Park and Lake on page 19. Again, the cash reserves in the middle column there will be carried. He had a lot of things, on his paperwork, but we didn't necessarily include in the budget. And one big thing that we're gonna have to figure out is the lake hall. I just have some pictures today where they got water in again on that north end, and they're starting to get some real major inside damage to those walls. And we're gonna have to probably do something like right away to remediate that. Probably taking some drywall out and so forth.
Did he begin to look at it?
Isaac said that he and Darren are still coming up with a plan of action of what to do. But there's also an issue, something is with not necessarily just that drainage. I think there's a leak somewhere in the building. And he's had contractor out before. It doesn't.
Plumbing?
we don't know. It's like in the wall or something strange on the northwest. Because the water is like in that kitchen, it comes in there and it's not coming through the ceiling. It's coming through somewhere else. And the contractor, he had NF out there a couple times to look at it. And without just tearing it apart.
Means water's running toward the building and not away.
Well, no,
We know that also, but
could be a metal roof vent pipe. Water hits that vent pipe and you got a bad boot.
okay, he's had roofers out multiple times.
But it's so hard to catch it. And the reason why I know is because I've seen it.
Okay.
It's usually where the two pieces of metal seam together and they got a vent right there, and then it hits that vent, follows that seam, and pukes in wherever it can. All the way, usually all the way at the wall.
It'll wick up that seam and it'll,
Or it comes down that vent pipe.
yeah.
And then hides in the wall, and then hits the floor and then comes out.
So I don't know,
I don't know what the setup is out there, but if you've got a individual meter, water meter for that, it should be easy to turn off all the water
Especially if they have a high-speed dial on it.
and watch
That little
the
dial
meter.
should move.
And if it's, I mean, a water leak is pretty easy to find if you got a plumbing leak.
The biggest thing is they got the camping area 2 foot above the building.
Yeah.
well, we know there's a drainage issue, but I think
Drainage.
I think we have more than one issue with that building. And it's starting to really,
50 years old.
right. So it's, yes, let's investigate it.
Yeah.
More, but also think about, we're gonna have some repairs there, and or does the board wanna look at, depending on how much it's gonna cost to fix it, like, and what all is wrong with it, is it time to look at a different building? So, cause at some point, like, and I know people look at what's easy and how to make money, but some of the contractors he's had out there have said, you know, just like tearing into this is gonna be, Probably a lot.
Good money after bad.
right, exactly. It's that. So I'm just curious what your thoughts are.
Put up a new building is gonna cost like that would be, that size.
I wouldn't put up a new building. It's a red iron building. You just reskin it, is what you would do.
Use the framework that's there.
The red iron's what's gonna cost you the most, and the labor to skin it. You get by with not a brand new building, but it'll look like a brand new building, and it should last just as long again. Just, that's the benefit of having a metal building.
Your structure is fine, it's just the skin on it that's the
Okay.
issue.
Done airport hangars that way. They look like brand new buildings when you're done, and there ain't nothing wrong with the red iron.
So just,
Well, if you want my 2 cents worth, the rock they put up against the building is the worst thing they could have done.
The rock they put against the building.
Well, it's 6 inches up on the tin.
Oh, yeah, that's,
I mean, it made a bigger trap yet.
I'm on the west side.
Till we dig a ditch and lower that a foot or so, just,
You're not,
Yeah.
you're not gonna fix it without digging a ditch on the backside.
once you cover up that tin up on the side, you create rust.
well, I'm not saying who made that decision to put that rock in there, but it needs to come out. Sooner it comes out, the better.
When did it go in? When did it go in?
Somewhere in the last couple of months, thinking that would help. If anything else hindering it.
Okay.
Plus the rock up against the tin's just gonna eat into it, and it won't take but a few months. And you've done messed up the paint, it may already have, but
yeah, that's why I had mentioned,
like I said, not to discourage whose idea that was, but that's the worst thing they could have done. Put that rock in, thinking that was gonna help. It will not drain it away.
Should have went back 6 foot,
Well,
2 foot off the top.
if we take them trees out and we can get just motor grader with us, whether we can do it ourselves by side and laser level, I mean, we can get it to where that water will stay away from that building and not come through going on the floor. I mean, the floor of that building is, I mean, it's fine on the east side.
right. That's why, when I found out that was
I
happening, I
don't
said
know
he needs to
what's
get Darren over there to give him a plan for drainage.
It's pretty simple.
It's
Put a terrace in.
not hard to dig a ditch,
You can even get
slope it away from the building.
a laser guidance on a skid steer that might be big enough to, but the trees will come out of there, that one's gonna fall on the building. It's not for me to tell Isaac what to do, the first thing I do is cut them limbs off that are rubbing on the building.
on the new paint in the gutters, and if that one rock.
All right, how about we schedule a discussion and you guys can all talk with Isaac about it in this room together? Would that be all right?
I think we already talked to Isaac about the drainage. I thought,
Well, apparently it sounds like there's more
He just
discussion.
mentioned it.
What?
He didn't come up with a solution, he just said he had a problem.
anyway. Yeah, that's what we need to do.
Or do you want to give me some
You think the engineer
other
would
feedback?
figure that out?
What?
The engineer?
Right, that's why
Yeah.
I asked him to have Darren come out and figure out what to do with the drainage over there. So that's in process.
That's what he does.
Does anybody need him to come instead and hear from you all, or are we good with where we're at with that?
See what he says that their plan is
Okay,
before we go
okay,
throwing wrenches in there.
sounds good. So anyway, don't know what all we're gonna get into with that building.
Get the trees out of the way and give me a motor grader for about 6 hours and I can fix it. Where it's not outside drainage coming through the. If there's nothing, he says there's no utilities there. But putting that rock up against the building is probably the worst thing we could have done to start with.
So,
Okay,
moving on.
all right, special bridge. I just put in the numbers that I was given. That cash reserve number will come out of the middle column. That's really, that's all the levied funds. So I haven't done all of the non-levied funds.
That reimbursement for the damaged bridge, will that go back into special bridge fund then?
We can put it wherever you would like for it to go. I mean, it's actually, it's more than just a reimbursement since it's a settlement. So it could go wherever you would say. You could put it in risk management, you could put it in road and bridge, you could put it, the commission needs to, if you wanna give some direction on where you would like that to go.
Seems like it'd make sense to go back into special bridge, because that's where it came from.
That would be my,
I mean,
Well,
we
sir.
always have issues with bridges, let's face it.
We also have a bridge construction line in the road and bridge department. So special bridge, we typically are using for culverts. Our bridge projects, we've been doing out of the road construction, or the bridge construction line and the road and bridge fund.
Either way,
But, yeah, it doesn't,
it just needs to go back into the
construction probably.
bridge construction.
okay.
As long as it goes into road and bridge. Well, yeah, special bridge. Just looking at your scenario one.
And again, on scenario one,
Right, it's just plugged in, but I'm just looking at them based on your mill levy differences. So, just between ambulance and road and bridge, that's where that reimbursement needs to go to. It goes to road and bridge rather than special bridge.
and keep in
Knock that.
mind, we don't have all of the beginning, the middle column cash right in this either.
Just to help knock that down.
Okey-doke. But yeah. Big difference there.
Well, those are the two.
Do you have any other, so we still haven't looked at capital improvement fund. You know, that one is just funded by transfers and we build up to to pay for road projects and then we spend it out. So at some point in the process, I mean, that's a pretty simple one to budget. It's just a matter of you all will, have to look at what projects you want to do. So that'll be coming back. We'll work on all the non-levied funds at the next time. This was all I had time to put together.
Yeah. We'll jump off that. As far as which roads,
Right.
which capital improvement roads.
Right. I will tell you that 3/30th, that we had an estimate from a year ago, like last January, so like a year and a half ago. And it was, I don't have it with me.
Yeah.
It's gone up a lot within that year and a half. We're looking at 4 million
Right.
on the estimate now for that.
But that is a cost that could go down. I mean, because the asphalt price kind of goes with the oil price.
Right. And,
So when oil skyrocketed, it probably went up.
right,
But when oil comes back down, the asphalt will come back down.
Let's cover their ass, make sure.
right. And always the engineer's estimates, what we use for budget purposes, we always estimate on the high end because we don't want to budget too little. So, and our strategy is usually budget low and conservative on revenues and like worst case scenario, high on expenditure, so we don't run into trouble, so. Does anybody have questions or anything specific they want to address with the budget?
I mean, I'm always wanting revenue neutral, but I want to know what these last 2 years of revenue neutral has done before fully commit to that. Take a recess.
One thing I would like to see, we got income from Diamond Vista and Sunflower Wind. That needs to go back in the general budget to offset ad valorem taxes in the county, in my opinion.
That's kind of what it's doing right now.
It's in the
It's
general.
in, we have it in a separate fund, but we carry it in the budget and the financials on the general. And so that is part of the reason we've been able to be revenue neutral for the last 2 years.
Can you also provide everything that we've paid out of those? I know that last time we decided to fund it from wind farm monies. And I just don't remember every category that we have paid for
Funded out of.
from that.
You've had 2 or 3 things.
We need a pipeline. We need that Keystone XL pipeline to get finished through Nebraska. We wouldn't have to do anything here. The volume would just increase out there and,
Double,
yeah.
Is that where the connection point is?
Yeah, it's somewhere in between there. South Dakota, they kind of got the knees kicked out while they were going through South Dakota.
Phillips, South Dakota.
workers
is
in
right here. So I mean, if the connection point's in Nebraska, you're only talking 250 miles max.
I know. It's not much, but everybody's too afraid to get involved because if the administration changes again, then all of a sudden everybody goes bankrupt again.
We'll get that. Yeah, we'd do that in a year and a half.
I almost
Just
wonder.
left.
Are you nuts?
Is what I did on those.
All right, I'm gonna use the restroom.
I'll wait till, I'll give you
I'll race
2
you.
minutes.
I'll race you.
Have that 200,000.
That's the bad part. I wait till after the executive session and everybody leaves, and everybody's in the bathroom, so they can. Quick.
We can separate part of that out if we want to see it as a separate line item. I just lumping that all together. But that's part of how that would. Put a number in parentheses because you don't know a number yet.
I'll get you on in a minute.
I did print off a couple copies of what was in the packet for the attorney, since like some of you that haven't been getting paper, in case you're keeping a budget notebook. Are you coming this way? I have to go shopping, I'm out of mints.
Tina, when you get those personnel numbers for me, could you get me the numbers from 5 years ago?
Sure.
And you don't have to get them to me today.
That's good. Because it might take a little, but yeah,
I'd just like to know what we've done in the last 5 years. Look at ways we can use technology to do things.
okay. I made that note, so I will remember. You're welcome.
Is that too long?
Well, you would think to replace seat cushions on a tractor wouldn't be that difficult, but I guess moisture had gotten in there and all the bolts are rusted on the backside, and to get that apart, and try not to burn the shop down with a cutting torch trying to cut the bolts loose instead of just take an impact wrench to them, think they're gonna come loose. And then the new one is made in China. It's a damn flimsy. You think Lynn got a little impatient, cross-threaded one of the bolts in the brand new seat cushions. Takes about 3 people to hold everything with these plastic bolts. Finally run a tap back in there to straighten the threads up a little bit, but even then I'm not sure we're going. That's where I quit. Drove 90 mile an hour to get here, 5 minutes late. So I've had my frustration.
No, you're 15.
I've had my
You were 20 minutes late because you missed the land bank meeting.
Is that the highlight of everybody's day? Well, we're back to trying to restart that bolt after we run that tap in, and I finally told Glenn, I said, what time is it? He says, well, it's 5 minutes after 12. Now I got burn scars from cutting that rusty tin thing apart.
I got burn scars this week too.
Give them chase you around with something.
No, trying to get a 1,000-pound cooker out of 70-mile-an-hour winds, driving rain.
I think said there was a lot of tree damage out the way.
I had trees.
Great big ones, blew over a couple of big ones out in the road.
I've lived out there almost 10 years and I've never had a limb blow down until Saturday.
It sounded like Gossel got hit pretty freaking bad.
I was over at Josh's house Saturday night and he had
I'm just glad it got about 3 miles from my house and went east.
trees down everywhere. He had all kinds of limbs down in his yard.
Crazy, it just split right over us in Hillsborough, south of us and north of us. I got 70 hundreds in town and Friday or whatever. Went out to the 40 the other day, it was 1.75 inches in the gauge. Like, what the?
About what I had on Saturday.
Wow.
It was raining so hard. I know my gauge didn't catch it all because it was coming down sideways. It literally, I couldn't stand out in it.
Well, when it rained, we did get a little rain in town, it was raining. The wind was blowing so hard, it couldn't make it to the downspout. The wind was pushing it back up onto the other side of the gutter.
Must have had a terrible tree damage in Gossel. Somebody said on Facebook, they said if you don't belong here,
Yeah, I was just a couple miles east
Yeah,
of
they had
it.
trees down the road.
There was a big tree down just north of me on Indigo. Blew down, the top of it was. It
I don't know. All right.
Off the road on the other side, but it was that road. And it was a big fire.
They are still having court. Michelle's still in court. I just peeked, so I don't know if she's gonna So when the other two board members get back, I guess we can decide.
Start going through. Roger.
What?
10
We have
minutes?
like 10 minutes. We're almost done with court. We've got like two more people.
Okay,
And then we'll be down.
sounds good.
Just have her sit in.
She's helping upstairs. Did you have a good one? Yeah. It's good. I missed my dad. We all survived, so. My sister has a really, really good summer. We laughed a lot. Yes.
Where's this at?
Do I not have it in there? Everything, those pages? Okay. I did work on them, but I just didn't put them in here apparently.
I was gonna look and see if there was a narrow.
Well, a couple things. One, the letter
Yeah.
that was sent to, or
Kinda like unicorn.
sent, yes.
Through it.
Is that a public document I can get?
We don't have a copy of what he.
1941 would be.
Yeah, it would be off of 190th.
It wasn't approved, or,
They just told him to send a letter and he did.
so if I want a copy, I can ask him?
Probably, but he won't. It's nothing the commission approved. They just told him to write them a letter, so we don't have it. You can ask him when he comes back.
Okay, and your response to that letter, is that?
But
He mentioned
I will,
it.
I think because he mentioned it, it probably is, so I'll ask him when he comes back.
Okay, and then, the public test of the equipment,
Oh,
where
that's
does
still
that
nice.
happen?
Downstairs in the election room.
Election. And people can come to that. I just read a
Public test.
word about what, yeah, election. And then the trailer. Shelter. Where is that?
Well, it's the old election trailer. The emergency management department has showed interest in taking the old trailer. And that's what they would like to use it for, but that's nothing.
What that means is they would just keep supplies in it that they would use if they needed to set up an emergency shelter. So it would potentially like have cots and.
And there's a new election.
Correct.
The deceased one, right? The deceased one? The deceased.
It's just to transport equipment. It's
Oh,
not
it's
to
not- it's not
utilize,
like
it's not a
that,
voting
but-
trailer.
Okay.
Even though,
We've always
like,
talked about
I
it.
know,
If it was
I used to
Typo
be
or-
a clerk and I used to always say I wanted
Two east, west, and two north, south.
an election bus where they could walk in the front and vote and get a
Yeah.
cookie and walk out.
But no.
But no, never happened.
The public test meeting, last day to register to vote is 14th. The 15th is the advanced mail ballots, that's like absentee ballots, old but those are not mailed to everybody, only to people who
If you
request
request
it.
it.
And what's
Somebody
the
else
deadline
saying
to
what I
request
think.
it?
I can get that
Okay.
deadline for you.
Okay, and to do that, they have to send you a note?
Where they put rocket.
The form to
There's a
complete.
form, okay. Okay. And early voting begins.
And air conditioning is
Sunday, right?
No, it begins on July 20th, which is a Monday, and then we're also offering that Sunday, the
you
26th.
need to set up on a slab of concrete.
Until the election.
Correct,
Yeah,
until.
they have a schedule, a specific schedule.
Ring them on them.
Mhm, it is.
Track.
What is that website? Marion?
County attorney has asked for 10 more minutes. They have court still and they're so, one thing that Ashley pointed out was I did work on the aging department and the election budgets, but I did missed getting those pages in here for you. So I'll, yeah. I didn't really have questions on them, but I didn't get them printed off and copied for you, so. One thing in that one just to remember is on the election budget, we need to make sure that we continue to budget enough for, to maintain the election process, but also to save for equipment and for that new system that we're gonna have to be spending money on for the statewide election system.
Unfunded mandates,
She has that,
unfunded mandates.
That bigger trailer.
yeah, she got she purchased that bigger trailer that you all approved from her grant. And that's here, so.
Emergency management wants the other one.
She's interested in it, yep.
Big one trip that way.
I don't know all of the great benefits to the bigger trailer, that's all Ashley.
Because we would like to purchase precinct tabulators so we can the ballots can be counted as people submit their ballots into the bin.
So we're not the
So
only
it'd be big
one.
enough to
So we're
carry.
not the only one in the state that doesn't show so much in. It just, boom, there it is.
Yeah, it would speed up election
the
night a
process.
lot, so. Okay, so do you wanna maybe do commission comments or something while we're waiting for the county attorney, or?
Everybody's talked up over it. Mike, you got anything?
Mike's got something to say, always.
That what?
Okay. Do you want an agenda item on for minutes policy, or do you want information just in your packet so you can make a decision on that next week, or do you want to talk about that now with the county counselor here? What would you like to do? Ashley would like to know so that she can, she needs to do what she needs to do for you all, so.
What was the question?
On the commission minutes,
As far
on
as,
what you all want included in it. The last vote that the board took was just to include actions and a little bit of extended discussion on things that you might need to make a future decision on. And that was the action that was taken. However, that was several years back. And recently there's been, a lot of other things included. So Ashley was looking for guidance from you all, and I think county counselor as well as far as what you want moving forward.
everything doing currently is all legit and legal.
Depends on what you mean by doing currently. We typically wouldn't include nearly as much as we have, and we get the request to, someone reads a statement, or don't even, they just make a statement and are asking that they want that all in the minutes.
Right.
That is not the typical Roberts or any of the other.
Just the generalization of what is said is.
Not even that.
Is it not?
Usually it's not even that. Especially with video, because you have the ability to mention the following people delivered certain comments, or a comment, and people can go look it up if they want. Generally, the minutes at a minimum require anything that you take formal action on that binds the county to something. That's pretty much it.
I just want to do a highlight of each public comment.
How do you know where that ends? That's the problem.
The title, talked about.
Depends how many people you ask.
Yeah, and that's what leads to the issue we have now. Some people are like, that's not enough, that's not what I said, that's not what I want to have in there. Well, that isn't their prerogative, and I don't mean that in a bad or adversarial sense, that's just not how that works. This is a meeting of this board, and generally what the minutes require, and I checked with a number of counties just to see if I was off base with what they've all been doing for years, and I'm not. I mean, that's what.
Well, once it's on YouTube, they should be able to see it if they want to go to the effort.
What I put into that policy is as just a draft for people to look at this week, is kind of what you see collectively in most counties. Well, in a lot of
Like the Dankers you just put in, talked about Airbnbs at the lake.
Right, so what you're saying is you could identify who spoke and just say what the topic.
A very minimal statement as a topic.
That's where I
So the
was,
topic of the comment is basically all we would need to do, is what you're saying.
Don't even have to do that. You,
Just that they,
it's
just who made one.
because with us listening, answering back,
typically if it's an action item and you invite comment from the public, those I usually suggest that there be at least something said, because there's an action item that follows it. But for people coming and just addressing you, it's just hard, without getting into a lot of, well, what do you include and what don't you? It becomes difficult to know where to stop it.
I think when you start accepting verbatim, you set yourself up to 4 or 5 people walking in with 5 pages, and they expect that next week. And that was discussed when I was first on the board. And we came to the conclusion then, even though we were 3, that, the added burden, for one thing, is you got quite a few minutes just to write up now.
Do we need to add a section in this resolution that clarifies that the full, I don't wanna say full text, cause we're not gonna type it out, but the full proceedings of the commission meeting are available
I'm happy to do that.
online?
I was just addressing the actual delivery of this so far, but we can easily put that in there.
Just for clarification.
Just a copy and paste week after week.
No, I think what Commissioner Dirks is saying, that it can be viewed online.
Right. It can be
Since we now have a video record, anyone can go look at the meeting if they wish to.
And I just
And
want
if I type that.
clarification in this resolution that
Yeah.
the full context of the meeting is available online.
Just a short disclosure. Cover that.
Yeah, I can add that to it. That's not a problem at all.
That's what I meant
So
about
I
the
have
copy
it,
and paste,
do
as
I
far
have
as the
that in
text. Yeah.
No.
No?
I don't know.
No.
We're
He's
just gonna
talking about adopting a resolution that outlines what is going to be included in the
Oh,
minutes. And in that resolution, it would indicate that it would only include these items, and then
Well-
if they want additional.
The way I did it,
haven't read it.
the policy actually does all of that.
That's what's adopting a policy.
Yeah, it adopts the policy. That's all the resolution does.
But in the minutes, I would not have to put they're online.
No.
Oh, no.
Okay, okay.
We put that, probably put it in the policy.
Yeah, I could do that as well. I kind of anticipated that. Put it at both places so that everybody knows it's, we do offer these or have them available. We record all our meetings, with video recordings, so.
So then in the minutes, you wouldn't have to put all of that.
Right.
It does kind of get a little bit muddy for like future, cause like that's your permanent record of the meeting, and when you wanna go back and for historical purposes, it would be,
So then you
it
still
should
need,
just be what the board,
Yeah, the
the
actions of the board.
actions of the board would be preserved forever and ever.
At the state legislative level, for example, you've got that legislative history, and you can go look that up to see what the discussions were and when they were in committee, what kind of testimony they took, that sort of thing. But it's not in the statute, and they ultimately reduce it in terms of their minutes to this is what action we took. And most of the other entities kind of do it that way too. Otherwise, it's a slippery slope.
So to still make it Tina accountable for years and years to come?
Ashley now. Be Ashley now.
I didn't even hear that comment.
Be accountable for years and years to come. You and Tina both. Handcuffed forever.
Prefer to say liable.
I like the golden handcuffs.
Hermetically sealed in a glass jar on Fagnal's back porch.
Oh my gosh.
You're not old enough to know where that came from.
No, sounds interesting.
Sounds like moonshine.
Johnny Carson.
Oh, okay, I know who he is.
He used that all the time, hermetically sealed in a glass jar.
He was a funny guy.
So then we'll have an updated one for
Yes,
next week? Okay.
I'll go ahead and prepare those.
From Columbus, Nebraska.
Well, I think my favorite is Johnny Carson was talking, had the oldest living farmer on the show. He said, he got back to, who's running this? Well, my oldest son. Well, how old is he? I think it was either 91 or 92. Because I think he'd made it to like 114 or 15 and was still able to.
Oh my
Wow, as a farmer, all this crap they breathed in back in the day.
But his oldest son was in charge of the farm and he was 91 or 2.
See all the old veterans on the celebration from, some of those guys are still doing pretty good, especially the guy that was the Marine. He was 103. He could still march.
Well, my neighbor made it to 110.
I want to set another date to do another budget work session, or should we just keep going on commission days? And we're just getting a little short on time, so I didn't know what you would like to
You
do.
need to go on your schedule.
I don't have a whole lot of days to spare.
I understand that. For some of us, we've got more time than others.
Commission day, I'm allocating for commission anyway, so.
I mean, it's good if we can do it on commission day.
You want to maybe start early on next Monday?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Or do you want to just not, I don't know that we have a whole lot scheduled. We can do normal time and then just plan on working on it forever.
No.
Sorry, it feels long.
I think
10 to 12 and then the regular meeting after.
unless I'm wrong, I think if we knew how much revenue neutral was actually doing to the cash carryovers and what a few of the other items are that, everybody else talked about, we would be able to make a decision on revenue neutral or not. That's our main timeline right now, right?
Yeah.
So as long as we got some of those details.
So
those heavies.
what if we plan on potentially at 10 o'clock on Monday?
Yeah.
And then if I'm having trouble getting that information together that soon, I'll let you know. But I might ask for another day during that week sometime. But I'll do my best to I'm gonna try to just put everybody else off and everything else off just to function working on budget. To best of what I can.
Phone over for do not disturb.
It's not always quite that easy.
Just stay home.
Yeah, that's true.
If you've got access to everything.
You say 10 o'clock?
10 o'clock, yeah.
What if I'm still hungover from the wife's 70th surprise birthday party Saturday night?
Well, then you better take the day after.
No comment.
They sell
Are we
some
out of session?
No.
they sell some of those pills where you can just before you go to bed for the night. Down. I can't remember what they are. They inhibit the alcohols or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you all have the materials. This is what I had as of Friday. I don't know if she had made any changes or had anything new to add to it over the weekend. So we can go through what she's got here if you want to go ahead and start, or you can just.
I've already read through it 5 times.
That way she can go right into her changes if there is any.
It's at the very bottom of the packet.
It's the last 2 pages of the packet. So on the first page on the questionnaire, she was not anticipating any equipment purchases. They're sharing a phone line right now, and that was kind of a temporary thing because they did add someone into an office back there and they didn't have a phone line in it, so they took Michelle's phone line. So she has just asked if we can maybe think about getting her own phone line, which.
They still on a POTS line? I thought they had a fiber.
No, we're not. No. We're all together on the same thing right now. We're looking at phone systems. They started looking at it and they were going to make a change, but we did not move forward because we need to do it as a group.
I was gonna say, because of VoIP, you just add a line.
Right. But it would be easy to run something. We'll go ahead and take care of that for them this year.
On that poll, that's gotta go right.
Late, sorry, very much, sorry. Judge Collin, I couldn't get him to talk any faster. How are you all?
Good.
Am I the last one on your docket?
Yes.
Sorry about that.
Sure. Best for last, they usually say.
Well, folks, I don't know if you've met me in the last year and a half, but I know I've seen you in the hallway. My name is Michelle Brown. I'm your county attorney. I have some stuff for you. I'm going to give you some handouts. Go ahead and take it. I'll keep one. Thanks.
Is that what we have already?
What I did was I prepared some statistics for you. I didn't have any last year, so I wanted to give you some statistics and kind of update you on some stuff with the county attorney's office. What I've done is, actually Caitlin's helped me a lot, I went ahead and pulled criminal cases. I've taken a 3-month period this year that's on the docket right now for 3 months to give you an idea how many felonies you have, how many misdemeanors you have, and
I don't have any.
I know you don't.
Days not
How many
over.
traffic you have, how many care and treatments you have, how many juvenile cases you have, and then I put some years past to kind of give you an update on how things have kind of unfortunately increased for you. So let me just run through a few things. Right now, we have 400 cases pending in district court in a 3-month period of time. That's criminal cases. And
Sure.
total cases last year was 138. We have 55 cases sitting on my desk to charge. So we have almost as many criminal cases that we need to charge this year that we had almost the entire year last year. In 2024, it went down a little bit. You filed 128 total criminal cases. In 2023, the same. I went ahead and separated some traffic cases since that's not criminal, just to show you how many traffic cases you have in this county, which is quite a lot. Over half of our cases, almost, I'd say about 60% of all the criminal cases are felonies in this county. The rest are misdemeanors. A very small portion misdemeanors belong to some municipalities around here, Hillsborough, Marion, Peabody, and of those, only serious misdemeanors, domestic batteries, and had one animal cruelty, which is serious to me, of course. That cost an awful lot of money. Yeah, I saw a choke over here, yeah. And so when I talked to Tina here a couple weeks ago, we kind of went through the needs of the county attorney's office. We don't need any infrastructure. We have all of our IT stuff. Well, we need 2 things though, and that's what I'm gonna ask you for, if not now, later. We need another full-time person. And the reason being is because of the uptick in all of these cases that unfortunately we have to file. Caitlin is gonna be going to law school in January. She is gonna still work, handle all the discovery, all of the reports that come in, and dispersing all of that to defense counsel. My hope is that she wants to come back to Marion. She says she does. And so you will have a county attorney when she gets out of school. And that's the plan anyway. You have no practicing attorneys in this county. We have other attorneys that come from other counties that come in and get appointed to stuff or maybe become county counselor, but we don't actually have anybody that actually has an office here. We have a satellite office from one firm, but that's it. So we're gonna hope that Caitlin comes back. That's her plan. So wish her well while you can, because I don't think you're gonna see her between now and January unless you see her on the sidewalk.
Restart of the Marion County Bar Association.
That's right, she's gonna be it. She's gonna be the president, she just doesn't know that yet. She's the president. She's the president, secretary, treasurer, she's got all of it, so. That's one thing we need is one more full-time attorney. Caitlin, and I'm not saying that because she's sitting here, she really does 2 people's jobs. She does all the discoveries, she does a good chunk of the complaints, she handles every cop that calls her on any given basis. When they need something, they call me on the weekends and evenings. During the week, they call Caitlin. She's part of law school, it's a pretty big hole. So she's not gonna have that in-person stuff, at least with cops that I need, so. The other thing we need is space. I have 4 people, myself, we have 3 full-time people and a part-time person crammed in 700 square feet. We have boxes lining the hallway. We have storage that we need to figure out where to put closed stuff because we do need to keep files for 3 years. That's required by the Supreme Court. One office, we have to share a telephone. I don't actually have a telephone because I need to let my part-time person use it. So we run this 30-foot cord into the other office across the hallway, so she at least has a telephone. I talked to Tina about some space issues. I would not know where else to get space. I know this, where we are right now, we used to be in the courthouse. I remember that when I was a public defender in the 90s, and I would come visit the county attorney's office. It used to be Tina's office. So I know it's a big upgrade, because you guys don't even have, a few hundred square feet max. We are in the building with EMS. They have 2 people. They have exactly the same amount of space that we have. They have 750 square feet. They have a slight, actually, amount more. If they had a place to go that they wanted to go and they wanted to move, I would volunteer that we would pay any moving expenses out of our diversion fund, if that's even an option. So those are the only 2 things I'm asking for. I'm not asking for more money. I told Tina when I started this, I'm not gonna ask for more money. As long as I'm here, I'm still not gonna ask for more money. So hopefully that helps at least the county with some, because every rural population keeps decreasing and every rural population keeps having to spend more money. And that's tough. And I know another person is more money, so please don't think that I'm making light of that. I'm not. So.
Pretty well had another person in your budget though.
Well, that's a requested person. So I've got 3 full-time people, a part-time person, and I'm requesting another person. I'm hanging on to Caitlin. I'm not letting her go, so she's gonna still work. So she doesn't get a choice on that, so.
I mean, I have to have insurance and
Yeah, well, yeah,
income
fortunately she
anyways.
needs insurance,
I
so
got a
that's
full
okay
law
with that.
school,
So,
Were you attending school?
Washburn.
she's going to Washburn. I've asked her to apply to KU as well, just to make sure, but she's like, no. She knows where she wants to go, and that's where, she got a really good score on her entrance exam, so I have no doubt that's exactly what
And
she's
she's still going to Washburn?
Huh?
And she's still going to Washburn even
I know,
after
right?
school?
Right, yeah, I know, but that's where she wants to go. She went and visited Washburn, had a tour already, with the dean. She's got her path laid out. She knows what she wants to do, and she wants to come back here afterwards, so it's a gift, trust me.
Stepdaughter was at Washburn for 5 years, so I kinda know the layout of the campus.
Every second year law student
'Cause
right
it's
now, they're all being just hijacked and
20 years
taken
later.
for a job already. Halfway through their second year, every one of them's spoken for. So for her to come back here is a gift. It really is. Gentlemen, what can I answer? Any questions? I know this is a lot of statistics. So what we did was, May 1st to, right now, we have a 3-month docket. So May 1st through July 29th, we already have those cases set. That's why we pick those. And as it says, we have 400 cases set right now in that 3-month period of time. That is, it's kind of unthinkable for a county this size to have so much crime. Sorry to say that. A lot of it's drugs, and a lot of it's not just possession, a lot of it's drug dealing. You've got a lot of possession with intent, and it's all meth. That's the truth. But we have all kinds of other cases. You've got aggravated batteries, you've got a couple attempted murders, you just have a lot of crime here. For the population, I'm a little surprised. When I was here in the 90s, it was not like this. When I was chief public defender, I left in 2004 to become a prosecutor. Our public defender's office for this region covered Marion County. And I made the decision to not have the public defender's office cover Marion. We covered a lot of other counties. And the reason being is because we had so few felonies. It was an hour each way, and we usually just kind of walked in, usually got a misdemeanor and walked away, and we were only down here every 3 months. Our dockets the judges have had to add dockets, the felony judge, which is Judge Collett, have had to add dockets just to keep up with the felonies. So it's not like it was 30 years ago. I wish it were.
We're on the juvenile detention board, and
Yes,
presently they're gonna try to open Ottawa County Jail because we've already got
yeah, you're staffed, you're stuck.
farming out here in the last couple of months.
So we had a kid come into custody this weekend, pretty serious case. Kid with a gun, runaway, 17, sleeping in some abandoned house. He also had meth. And when Officer Walker tried to take him to the juvenile detention center. They said, nope, they were full. And he took him to, where else did he go? Hutch. We had to take him down to Hutchinson. So unfortunately, that's Peabody's issue in terms of the officer's time. The only officer, by the way, in Peabody. But our juvenile detention numbers have gone up. And now, as of July 1st, the amount of time a judge can put a kid just in pretrial detention has doubled. It's gone from 45 days to 90 days.
Well, in the DCF funding is in legislation that we're assuming they're gonna be able to fix it, but if they don't,
Sure.
that'll be a short financial downfall.
Well, and it's
We don't wanna throw the can care kids out because they pay them all.
It's the state's solution to go ahead and say, counties, take care of your own problem. Lots easier said than done. It's a lot easier said than done.
Just the specialized and gotta educate them or be in school.
Right, they need school, they need alcohol and drug treatment, they need mental health counseling. It's a big deal to keep a kid in detention, and we know that. Our juvenile judge here is Judge Capola. She comes out of Geary County. She is very good at juvenile detention. She knows, and she makes very specific findings when we have to keep kids in jail. We don't want to. I don't want to. I'd rather them be home. But like this kid this weekend, he's not going to be able to go home.
Well, Angela will be replacing Sean, and she is more than qualified, I think.
What's that?
Angela's gonna be running the one in Junction City, and Sean's retired.
Where Sean, Angela, and she's hiring I hope she's gonna hire Lawrence Palmer. I don't know if you know Lawrence, but he was with juvenile intake for years before he stepped back from child welfare. I just wrote him a recommendation.
A few of them were in other types of juvenile detention of some sort that was not options.
We have electronic monitoring through our district in lieu of detention, and we use it, trust me. We use it.
And nothing's cheap on housing them anymore.
Nope, nothing's cheap.
Building needs maintenance.
So,
Junction City, I think it's been used for over, 28 or 29 years now?
yeah, as long as I've been there, yeah. I came from Geary County, so yeah, I retired from there.
But there's a couple of counties that are 10 times worse than we are.
Very much so.
Kids that are ending up there or
Yep.
in supervision.
So when you see these years, 2017, 19, 20, this is not the number of cases that occurred at that time. That's what we have right now. So we still have, when we file a case in 2026, it doesn't end in 2026. We still, right now on the docket, have a 2017 case. We have three 2019 cases. 2020, we still have 5. Those are all pending right now.
Okay, so that's.
They just keep dragging along.
I was looking at it like.
No, it didn't make any sense. No. Those are
Substantially increased.
right. No. We that's what we have right now. And so cases don't just end the same year we file them. They keep dragging on year to year.
Okay.
Whether they be because people a lot of times abscond, and then we catch them, we drag them back, or they're on probation and they're violating the probation, so we drag them back. And so they don't just end the same year we file them. That's what this means. And those numbers are what we have right now for 3 months. That's it.
Well, the Carr brothers are still appealing.
The Carr brothers are still
20
appealing, but they just got that appeal denied. So hopefully they can just be done with them and just get rid of them. But that's not going to happen.
Some years ago, I think.
Yeah, I remember when it happened. So for whatever reason, and I can't tell you the exact reason, I'm sure it's a number of factors, we're on track to double our numbers just even this year, and I don't know why. So when over 60% are felonies, it's a huge drain on your resources, and I know that.
Well, on the second page, it says how many were arrested just in the month.
Oh, yeah.
That
Yeah,
part of it.
yeah. We had 36 people were arrested in just our jail in the month of June. So part of the problem is your county has, and I say your county like I'm not here, you have 2 highways that intersect, and that comes a lot of traffic that way. A lot of drugs come through both those highways. Whereas some other counties that don't have the traffic don't get caught basically. People are using this as a corridor to transport drugs to and from Wichita, to and from Texas. So that's part of your big problem here. But you can't fix that unless you close the highways down.
Part of the illegal immigration traffic.
You are correct.
We didn't see it personally, but
Right.
talking to law enforcement,
It's big.
77 highway is a huge corridor.
Yeah, and if you actually come to
State
it,
troopers are
and if you
picking 'em
come,
up and dragging them in here.
yeah, and if you come to a traffic docket, you're gonna see a lot of people that are not residents here. And they're driving a vehicle and they get caught, and they're always by highway patrol. So that's a big deal. Then you've got other people that, of course, not just driving without a valid driver's license, they're dragging drugs with them. It's not uncommon. Those are all highway patrol cases. And we do catch them at the county level. Highway patrol catches most of them. So, gentlemen, what can I answer for you? Brad, tell me.
You pressed us enough.
So, the building next door, if we moved EMS out of that building, would that suffice?
Oh, absolutely, it would double our space. They have as much as we do. They have 2 employees, and we have the exact amount of space. So if they could comfortably go someplace else, yes, we would very much appreciate
Or
it.
across the street?
Yeah, or a third option. Close in a little bit more at the Marion Station and put them over there.
But they use this for their medical supplies, so wherever you would put them, they would obviously have to have the space that the EMS can come get their medical supplies. They have a support staff. They obviously have your EMS director, so I don't know how much space they would need, but I know that they would need space.
Right. There, we do have a few options
A
possibly.
nice closet.
Mike Shiner or Mike Schneider.
Don't even have to look at it.
But I don't want to inconvenience them, so that's why it's like, if I know it costs money to move, it costs money to pay IT to move them, we will pay for that.
Well, right now, I mean, between Mick and seem to be a little bit more flexible, so
That's good.
we could probably talk to them.
That would be awesome. And like I said, I don't want them to cost any money. We will certainly pay for the, I can't pay for the inconvenience, but at least we can pay for the money it takes to move stuff. Whether it be movers and IT, that's all I can
There
think
would
of.
probably be some other, besides moving costs, I mean, wherever we would go, there would be some little bit of remodel that would be needed to
Sure,
make the
there's always
space
that too, sure.
utilizable. Usable.
Another issue.
Yeah,
Well, we've got space, so we're not.
not building from scratch, at least that's good. And I don't have anyone in mind for a full-time person, but we would certainly find somebody if you would approve that. But those are the only 2 things I really wanted to bring to your attention. Like I said, IT's caught up, everybody's got surfaces, that should be good for 3 years. That's pretty much it. Okay. Anything else, guys?
Thanks for the enlightenment.
Sorry. I feel like the bearer of bad tidings.
No, there's stuff there that I need to know. I think. I believe.
Well, you can always call or come to court and hang out with us if you want.
Yeah.
Can we have this?
Absolutely, please.
absolutely.
Absolutely, please take it.
Arrested for disruption.
And I never answered you, but yes, everything was correct. Okay. Folks, thanks you for your time. Very much appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Michelle.
I'm gonna get our buckets. I'm gonna go back.
Yeah. I know.
Discussion,
Enough for a text from me.
discussion, anything?
So all I need to know is what we're doing to the budget. And
Back on the 13th.
whether revenue neutral is a even realistic thing. I mean, it's realistic.
There may have to be a few cuts. I don't know.
I mean, it's always realistic, but how much,
You're
the biggest.
We've been waiting for relief from the state for 2 years and we haven't
You
got
gotta
it.
get it.
Can we expect it next year? I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean,
We've got Senate Bill 488 on the floor. If it ever gets anywhere, two ways.
I got my bill, or the bill I was behind to get from the the House committee, the House floor to the Senate committee, and then they killed it just like that on the Senate floor.
Yeah, that was that one on the caps.
That was on licensing.
Oh, I'm on property insurance. So yeah, property insurance, property taxes. I'm gonna have help on property insurance too.
But
I'll be on mine. And yet the values of our agriculture land are just, you'd have thought a couple of years ago they would slow down.
yeah, the land's going for $9,000 an acre over there. It ain't gonna slow down.
You know, and that's what bothers me a little bit. I was at a SCED meeting, representative from the commission comments. The rep from Chautauqua County, which is basically all ranches. We got 2,500, 3,000 people in the whole county. He said literally in the last 7 years, there has not been a local rancher, farmer, or whatever that has purchased a piece of land in Chautauqua County. He said no one knows where their neighbor is. Nobody even knows who owns that, such and such LLC or corporation. And he said it's starting to have an impact on people's psyches in the county. He said, but that's where we're at.
You get enough absentee landowners, then maybe the land value, assessment value would go up, because they're not actively owner operators.
Well, that would have to be changed in the election policy at the state level.
Yeah, it's kind of scary because that county is, they're neat things as small portions. I guess Marion County's.
Maybe that's a question, for Nikki. Is there any taxation policy that changes the value or the rate on second homes? I know I had a house just south of me that was for sale for a year and a half. It finally sold to a gentleman out of Wichita, and he comes up on the weekends.
A lot of them are that way.
And I know in my part of the county, there's lots of non-resident landowners.
It's getting to be that way. It'll be interesting. We got 2,000 acres of land auction on the 18th of August in the Durham area. And all I hear is all the interest that's coming is out of state.
Who has that listed?
Who has that listed?
No, but I mean, who's got it? Who's the realtor?
Farmers National,
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen that one hit the docket yet.
18th of August.
Yeah.
That's at the fairground.
One southwest of Hillsborough, that one already hit the docket. It's on the list.
It'll be interesting. A lot of people want it locally, they just don't think they'll be able to hack it.
Looking for these two nuts for that.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So 10 to 12.